This is the Louie Tee Network.
Louie Tee Live. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to Louie Tee Live. Popping the collar tonight. I don't know if you can see that. Got the collar all the way up. I'm feeling good tonight, man. No wine tonight. I got a bone to pick with y'all, and I don't even know if the people who were talking trash about me last week are even here right now. But let me say this now, man. I don't know what your drink of choice is, and you know what? I'd love to hear. If you're watching this and if you're underage, you shouldn't have a drink of choice. And look, I'm here to tell you that drinking isn't all it's cracked up to be if you're underage and you're watching this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, drinking will take some of your time away from you that you can never get back. Whether you're going to the bathroom to piss every 5 minutes, or you are getting a splitting headache when you wake up the next morning. Maybe you're vomiting, can't keep anything down. That's called a hangover. You want to avoid those. They're the worst. So you can lose some time that you can never get back due to drinking excessively. If done correctly, it can make the mood that much better. But I'm here to ask you guys, what's your choice? What's your choice in beverage of choice? Okay, I'm a wine guy. So last week I got a little flack because I was sipping my little wine. I said, I'm comfortable. We all family here. So I'm going to sip my little wine while I'm doing my breakdown. And I had somebody call me soft because I was drinking my wine. I'm not a beer drinker. Are you a beer drinker? What is your drink of choice? What's your preference? If you're out there and you're watching and you have a drink of choice, you got a preference, I want to hear what it is, man. But if you don't drink, that's great, because drinking isn't really good. Just here to tell y'all that. But in any event, what's going on with y'all, family? Your man Louie Tee here with you on a Wednesday night. Let's quickly set this table. If you're here for the first time, welcome to the Louie Tee Network and Louie Tee Live. If you're looking for more great content in 2016 and beyond, here's the place right here, Louie Tee Network. Subscribe to the Louie Tee Network on YouTube. I'm also on Twitter. If you're on Twitter too, follow me on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. I'm also on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. All of that is right there in that box. You can see all of my different social media platforms flashing on the screen. So it was another tough week for me, man. Another tough week in the picks department. We'll get to that later on in the program, as we always do. We'll take a trip around the league. Looky a little bit later on in the program as well. Can't wait to see what you guys did, because let me be honest with you. Normally, I get to see all of your picks beforehand, so I already know who does well, who didn't do well. I haven't had a chance, so we're all going to find out who did what together, because I didn't look at the picks beforehand. So I didn't get to crown a winner or any of that good stuff. But guess what? We're going to do it together tonight when we get to Louie Tee versus the world. I know I wasn't the damn winner. I know I'm not the champ this week. So we're going to find out who the champ is. And when you win, if it's you this week, I need you at your house to say, the champ is here. The champ is here. Yeah, let everybody know. The champ is here. We're going to find out who the champ is tonight. It damn sure isn't me, and I'm pissed about it. But with anything that I do here on this program, you know I'm going to do it big. Can't help but do it big. So last week I unveiled a new segment on this show, and it's something that is usually only foreign. It's only something that is exclusive to my podcast, but because the podcast is currently under construction, I said I'll bring it here onto Louie Tee Live. That's the rookie wall. And like I told you before, we're going to get that program, that segment, every single show. And I'm going to start the show off this week once again with the rookie wall. So while you guys are watching, I'll be scrolling the comment section to see what you have to say about your drinks. And just know this, when I get big enough, I'm going to create a wine. And I already came up with a name. Chateau de Bouillon. That's going to be the name of my wine. You're going to want to taste it. It's going to be great. In any event, here is the Week 5 edition of the Louie Tee Network and Louie Tee Live Rookie Wall. Enjoy. I'll see you on the other side. It's that time again. Here to drop a gem on your melon. The Week 5 edition of the Rookie Wall here on Louie Tee Live. Last week was the inaugural episode for the 2016 season. Introduced 8 rookies on the rookie wall, but look, this is a list consisting of 7 players. I was a little gracious last week, allowed a tie. No ties this week. Everybody's got to earn it. And if this is your first time listening to this list, welcome. And it's simple how we do this here on the Louie Tee Network on the rookie wall. 7 rookies every week make the wall. They climb, they can fall. That's the rookie wall. Either you're going to remain on the list by playing good football, or you're going to have your spot on the wall taken by another hungry, up-and-coming rookie. The list looks very different than it did a week ago. A lot of infighting, a lot of guys that were on the list a week ago just moving around and shuffling their papers. Got one new entry, one guy that's not on the list, or should I say 2. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But let's get to this list, man. Let's get to the rookie wall for week number 5 in the National Football League here on Louie Tee Live. Start at number 7. Last week, we had a tie. And just to recap last week's rookie wall, let's do that real quick before we get into this week's rookie wall. Last week, at number 7, two-way tie, 2 receivers. Sterling Shepard of the New York Football Giants. Michael Thomas, wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, came in at number 7. At number 6, linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons, Deion Jones, came in at number 6. Number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars rookie defensive end Yannick Ngakoue. At number 4, Will Fuller the 5th, Houston Texans rookie wide receiver. At number 3, Double E, Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys rookie running back. Joining him on the list at number 2, his backfield running mate, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys rookie quarterback. And heading up the list in week 4 of the National Football League last week, Philadelphia Eagles rookie quarterback Carson Wentz. Now let's get to week number 5 in the new list. This week on the rookie wall. Coming in at number 7, new entry to the rookie wall, Chicago Bears running back Jordan Howard. Howard, bam! That's what he's done in his 2 starts this season, coming in with a bang. Started 2 weeks ago versus the Lions, first NFL start, 100-yard rushing performance. Last week against the Indianapolis Colts on the road, 2nd career start, 2nd 100-yard game in a row. Also caught a couple passes out of the backfield, one for a touchdown. This guy can catch it, he can run it. Very dynamic football player for the Chicago Bears. I see a bright future ahead of Jordan Howard if he can just stay healthy. And the Bears now have a premier running back in Jordan Howard. They feel really good about what this guy brings to the table, and he's been ultra impressive to start his Bears career. You get to number 6 on the rookie wall for week number 5, going into week 6. And it's the same number 6 from a week ago. Falcons linebacker Deion Jones. Although he was injured in week number 5 and didn't play versus the Denver Broncos, Deion Jones still first in tackles with 30 on the season. Still with 3 pass breakups, 1 interception, and like I mentioned last week, one of 2 rookies to have a pick 6 to his name this season. Deion Jones remains at number 6 on the rookie wall. Let's go to number 5. And we've got a little change here. Will Fuller the 5th coming in at number 5 this week. Remember last week he was number 4 on this list. Dropped a spot after having a shaky performance last week versus the Minnesota Vikings. But then again, who on his team didn't have a shaky performance? So because he played in a game where he only had one catch, 4 yards, he drops a spot on this list, but do not get it twisted. Still first in receiving yards among all rookies, third in receptions, 3 total touchdowns, that's first among rookie wide receivers, and 7 plays of 20 yards or more, with one of those being 40 yards or more on the season. So still a dynamic playmaker, still a guy that you have to account for on that Texans offense, but didn't have a huge impact in week number 5. You go to number 4 on the rookie wall, and it's a guy that didn't even play last week, but because of what happened behind him, he is the benefactor and beneficiary and moves up the wall 1 spot. I'm talking about Jacksonville Jaguars defensive end Yannick Ngakoue. Here's a guy that didn't play last week due to a bye week and is still first in sacks among rookies with 3. Still first among rookies in forced fumbles with 3. 2 pass deflections and an interception to his name. So this is a guy that is balling and is going to get an opportunity to get back on the field in week 5 and see if he can continue his hot start to his career as a Jacksonville Jaguar. Yannick Ngakoue moving up 1 spot on the rookie wall from 5 to 4 in week number 5. You go to the number 3 player on the rookie wall in week number 5, and this is a guy that headed this list a week ago in Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. Still playing outstanding football, suffered his first interception, which also happened to be the game-clinching interception at Detroit as the Eagles lost their first game of the season after coming off of a bye week. However, Wentz is still one of the best young rookies this season. Still first in quarterback rating at 103.5. Still first in touchdown passes among rookies with 7. Still first among rookies in passing yards per game with 251.8. Only thrown 1 interception on the season, and he's got a 67.4% completion percentage. The guy is still balling, and so he's not going to fall too far, only dropping a couple of spots from number 1 a week ago down to number 3. And the reason he dropped from 1 to 3 is because of the next 2 guys on the list. And before we get to the final 2, let's quickly recap the week 5 rookie wall here on Louie Tee Live. Coming in at number 7 this week, rookie running back for the Bears, Jordan Howard, playing some outstanding football for the Chicago Bears. 2 straight starts, 2 straight 100-yard rushing efforts. Number 6, Atlanta Falcons linebacker Deion Jones, still first among tackles, and despite not playing in week 5 versus the Denver Broncos, still only one of 2 rookies to have a pick 6 and a house call this season. Coming in at number 5, Will Fuller the 5th, dropping 1 spot from 4 to 5 this week on the rookie wall. Unimpressive in his week 5 performance versus the Minnesota Vikings, but then again, nobody on his team was impressive, and really no one has been ultra impressive versus the Minnesota Vikings this season. Coming in at number 4, a guy that didn't even play a week ago, had a bye week, Yannick Ngakoue, continuing to be the leader among sacks, forced fumbles among defensive ends that are rookies in this league, playing at a very, very high level this season. And at number 3, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz suffered his first loss of his NFL career, also threw his first interception of his rookie season and his NFL career, but still has gotten the Eagles off to a 3-1 start this season and is still playing outstanding football. Now for the final 2 members of the rookie wall in week number 5, going into week 6 of the National Football League. Both players on America's team. We start with number 2 on this list, up from number 3 a week ago. It's Double E, Ezekiel Elliott, rookie running back for the Dallas Cowboys, continuing to shred this league. The last 3 weeks, this man has been on a tear. 140 yards 3 weeks ago in a win by the Cowboys versus the Chicago Bears. Followed that up with 138 yards versus the San Francisco 49ers in another win for the Dallas Cowboys. And his most impressive effort yet, 134 yards on just 15 carries versus the Cincinnati Bengals, including a 60-yard run to start the second half to put that game away. Ezekiel Elliott has been a stud to start his NFL career. Not only is he leading all rookie rushers with 5 touchdowns, he's leading the entire National Football League in rushing yards this season. This man has been everything the Dallas Cowboys thought he would be, and then some. Give some credit to that offensive line, but make no mistake about it, they spent the 4th overall selection in the 2016 NFL Draft on a guy that they thought could come in and change the game. And thus far, Ezekiel Elliott has been a game changer for the Dallas Cowboys. And at the number 1 spot, coming in on the number 1 spot, his backfield running mate for America's team, Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott. This is a guy that has played with exceptional poise, has led this Cowboys team to a 4-1 start, the best record in the toughest division currently in the National Football League, the NFC East. 4-1 for the Dallas Cowboys. Highest winning percentage of any rookie quarterback in the league this season, overtaking Carson Wentz, who suffered his first loss in Week 5 to the Detroit Lions. Dak Prescott has been ultra impressive. He's first in completion percentage at 69.7. Just think about that for a second. You're talking about a rookie quarterback who, after 5 games, is almost completing the football at a 70% clip. That is insane. 1,239 passing yards, also first among all rookies, as well as his quarterback rushing touchdowns, 3. No one is even close to him in that category in terms of quarterbacks and rushing touchdowns, which makes him such a dangerous asset in the red zone. You have to defend Ezekiel Elliott, and if you go too hard and crash down on him, he can pull the football out and use his legs to get into the end zone as well. No interceptions on the season for Dak Prescott yet. You just don't see guys at that position come in and be as poised and as sound in their fundamentals and their decision making. It just doesn't happen at the quarterback position with rookies, and Dak Prescott has defied all the odds thus far. 101.5 quarterback rating. He's playing at a phenomenal level, has led his team to a 4-1 record right now, and has the Dallas Cowboys really seriously considering whether Tony Romo needs to get this job back or not. Jerry Jones has said that when Tony's healthy, it's his job. But if they continue to win, the decision will become harder and harder to make as to pulling Dak Prescott out of the starting lineup in favor of Tony Romo. Let's get to the honorable mention for this week before we get out of here. Got a couple of names to toss at you. Joey Bosa, the 3rd overall selection in the 2016 NFL Draft, finally making his NFL debut, and what a debut it was. 5 tackles, 2 sacks on the day, and a number of pressures on Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. Bosa was impactful, and he's a guy that you're going to have to look out for moving forward. Was very impressed with him in his first action as a San Diego Charger. Jakeem Grant, Miami Dolphins wide receiver, aka slash kickoff returner, aka slash punt returner, making his presence felt with his first career NFL touchdown on a punt return. Very dynamic punt returner, and a guy that when he touches the football can take it the distance every single time. Reminds me a lot of Chiefs wide receiver and punt returner Tyreek Hill, another guy that I mentioned last week as an honorable mention. Jakeem Grant striking pay dirt before Tyreek Hill as a punt returner. We'll see if Jakeem Grant can continue to make his presence felt on special teams for a very lowly Miami Dolphins football team. Kyler Fackrell, Green Bay Packers outside linebacker, notching his second sack on Sunday Night Football versus the New York Football Giants. 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He's really making his presence felt in Green Bay, and for a team that can use some more pressure off the edge, Kyler Fackrell is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Green Bay Packers out of Utah State. Carl Joseph, first-round pick of the Oakland Raiders, started for the Raiders for the first time 2 weeks ago and has jumped into this lineup and made an immediate impact. Tied for 4th among rookies in tackles with 24, tied for 3rd in PBUs with 3 among rookies, and he's already got 1 fumble recovery and an interception to his name, both notched in the win over the Chargers this past week in week number 5. So this is a rookie coming in, getting his feet wet, and helping his team win football games. Look out for Carl Joseph. If he continues to play the way that he has, he's a guy that could crack this list much sooner rather than later. A couple of receivers that were on the list in the rookie wall a week ago, no longer there, so they bear mentioning. Sterling Shepard, New York Giants wide receiver. A really quiet night in Green Bay. 2 catches, 14 yards. Didn't do much to help his stock, which is why he fell off the rookie wall. But this is a guy that has been very impactful with this Giants football team early in the season. That offense needs to get back on track, and the way that they can do that is by spreading the football around to guys like Sterling Shepard. Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints wide receiver, was on a bye week, so he didn't enhance his stock any, and guys around him played well enough to earn their way onto the rookie wall, so he fell off. He'll get an opportunity to come back against the Carolina Panthers in week number 6 and have an opportunity to make some plays and potentially play his way back on to the list. Hunter Henry, aka Triple H, out there in San Diego with the San Diego Superchargers, on the honorable mention list yet again, and he was eerily close to getting onto the rookie wall this week. It was between him and Jordan Howard. Hunter Henry with his second straight game with a touchdown grab and a huge 59-yard catch and run in this ball game, really being a force over the middle of the field and a new favorite target for one Phillip Rivers. Triple H is going to find his way onto this list eventually if he continues to catch the football and make plays for that Chargers offense. And one of his teammates on the opposite side of the football, Jatavis Brown, rookie linebacker for the San Diego Chargers, he continues to shine. Second among all rookies in tackles with 28, notched another sack on Sunday versus the Raiders, his second of the season, and he also has a forced fumble to his name. So Jatavis Brown filling in for Manti Te'o and filling in very effectively. If he continues to play the way that he's playing, he's going to make it tough for me to keep him off of the rookie wall. So that's the Week 5 edition of the Louie Tee Network Rookie Wall. Remember, some rookies will climb, others will fall. It's the Rookie Wall. I'll see you next week. All right, so we're back. Fresh off the Week 5 edition of the Rookie Wall. List fluctuated a little bit, but for the most part, same parties, one new entry, a lot of different moving parts, guys kind of shifting around, changing locations, some new mentions that were honorable, and some of those guys are going to crack this list eventually, especially if guys continue to struggle. A couple of guys that were on the list a week ago, no longer on the list this week, and a couple of guys that were up a little higher on the list fell down a bit. So if we keep having guys play the way that they have been playing, you're going to see some new entries on the rookie wall come next week. Let's get to some of your comments, and I want to jump into as many of them as I can before we switch gears and get to Looky and take a trip around the league. Andrew Kim says, with the Browns saying everyone besides Pryor could be traded, do you think anyone will be shipped to a different team before the deadline? It's possible. I think the new way of doing business in Cleveland is to get as many assets as possible. We saw that in the last draft. Saucy Brown and John D. Podesta aren't playing around. And if they can get more assets, more ammunition for the upcoming draft, get younger, get more talented football players, and get rid of the assets that they do have on their team currently that won't really help them in the near future, because they know this team is a couple of seasons away. And if you got a guy that by the time you get good isn't going to be in his prime anymore, why not allow him to move on, get what you can get for him, and see if you can continue to grow your football team that way. So I think everybody's on the table, and I think the only guy you probably won't see shipped out would be a guy like Joe Thomas, because unless somebody comes with the right price, and I don't think it's because the Browns don't want to trade Joe Thomas. I think they'd be willing to listen, but they're going to be asking a hefty price for him. And I don't know if anybody's going to be willing to part with what it's going to take to get their hands on Joe Thomas in season, especially. Maybe in the offseason something could be consummated, but not right now. I just don't see any team being desperate enough to give up what the Browns will probably be asking for a guy like Joe Thomas. But there's some other players there that could be had potentially. We'll see. You rarely see fire sales throughout the middle of the season in the National Football League. This isn't baseball. This isn't basketball. Guys aren't going to just start flying and switching teams. It just doesn't work like that, generally speaking. Andrew Kim says, I hope the firing of Tresman helps spark the offense because it has talent. I don't know why we didn't run West more. Wake up, Mr. West! Mr. West! In the Redskins game, Kamar Aiken has been non-existent this year. Speaking to the Terrence West dilemma, he should have got the football more versus the Raiders, should have got the football more versus the Redskins. It made absolutely zero sense that he was having that much success in both of those games and didn't get the football more. There was no excuse for him not to eclipse 100 yards rushing versus the Redskins. He had 116, 17 yards versus the Raiders. Could have had 150 in that game. He just didn't touch it enough. And that speaks to the ineptitude of one Mark Tresman. Offense was very predictable. He wasn't a good play caller. Never seemed to have a good rhythm and feel and flow of the game when calling plays. It was his time to go. And so we'll see if this Ravens offense can get back on track. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I believe they promoted Marty Morningwig to OC, and he's a guy that has called plays in this league before and is very good at doing so. Good enough, at least. See, DG Production says, how do you shut down the Falcons offense? Falcons fan, by the way. It's really simple, actually. Get to Matt Ryan. If you can get to Matt Ryan, and that's been the key this season. Teams haven't been able to get to Matt Ryan consistently. The Broncos got to him a little bit, and you see the impact that it had in that game. He missed Julio Jones down the field on at least 2, maybe even 3 plays. There was a deep ball down the sideline. There was a deep crosser that he missed him on that he's been hitting all year long. That's what happened when you have pressure. He got sacked a few times in this game, made him a little uncomfortable. His numbers weren't gaudy, but he didn't turn it over, and that was the key in this ball game. He didn't make the big mistake. If you can get to Matt Ryan, you can get him off of his spot, make him uncomfortable a little bit, you can slow this Falcons offense down. Then if you can stop the run, and maybe not necessarily stop it, but slow it down a little bit and force Matt Ryan to have to pass in long distance situations and then tee off on him, this offense will look and be reminiscent of the offense last year and the year before that, where Matt Ryan was a little bit helter-skelter, a little nervous because he didn't know on any given play was he going to be fully protected or not. And thus you saw mistakes from him. So to me, the way to stop this offense is to get to Matt Ryan, make him uncomfortable, which really I don't know if I'm saying much because that's any team in this league. You get to the quarterback enough, he's going to start hearing footsteps. He's going to start feeling the pressure when the pocket starts collapsing. Instead of him keeping his eyes down the field and getting rid of the football, he's going to start feeling that rush a little bit and start looking around, maybe have a little happy feet in the pocket. Bad footwork equals errant throws equal turnovers, and that's how you can slow down this Falcons offense. Let's see what we got as we continue to move on. Andrew Kim says, had a rough week on picks. You and me both, brother. You and me. Now, I just want to be clear here, and because you've been pretty good the last couple of weeks. Is a rough week below the Mendoza line, because if it is, then me and you aren't on the same playing field. If it is, then that's you and me both, buddy. Sean Hawk says, congratulations to everyone for making it 2 weeks in a row in the Survivor Pool. It's only 6 people remaining in the Louie Tee Network Survivor Pool. And like he just mentioned, both weeks 5 and 4, all 6 of the remaining participants got their picks correct. So congratulations from him, and congratulations from me as well. I read a lot of your comments on the drinks, man. You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious indeed. Caleb Hazard says, I drink beer, but I also drink wine sometimes. Nothing soft about it. Trust me, I know. I just had to make sure they knew that I'm going to sip my wine, man. You ain't going to make me feel bad about it. And one day you're going to be sipping that Chateau de Brion. Abraham Lopez says, Atlanta versus Seattle going to be a good game. No, it's not going to be a good game. Going to be a great game. Can't wait to watch that one. Indeed. Abraham Lopez says, word is all rookies will finally start together for Atlanta. Devondre was impressive week 1. So sounds like guys are finally getting healthy, and they may be able to see the field. They were missing Deion Jones last week as well, so they've been banged up. Let's see if they get their guys back in time for this Seattle Seahawks showdown in week number 6. Captain Spartan 04 says, why should I buy the Falcons product in the second half of the season? Well, because their schedule isn't going to be much tougher than it was in the first half. If they can find a way to navigate this early portion. I remember the first glance at this Falcons schedule this season, and I talked to a number of people about this, my dad included, and I said, man, and everybody said the same thing. Man, the Falcons could start off 1-6. I mean, just looking at the schedule at face value before we knew anything, and that's why I hate with a passion trying to predict games before the season starts, because you have no idea. This is not a rollover league. There's no carryover in momentum from the season before, as we've seen with the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. There's no carryover in this league. Okay, just because you won the season before doesn't mean you're automatically entitled to winning the next season. That's what makes what the Packers and the Patriots and the teams like that are blue bloods of this league that win each and every season, it seems like. That's what makes what they do so impressive, because it's not easy to do this. Some teams make it seem easy, but it is not easy to win every week in this league. It's not easy to win every year in this league. And so we looked at the schedule, and we said 1-6 for the Falcons could be a real possibility. And to look at the schedule and to see them be 4-1 and potentially be 5-1 after the Seattle Seahawks game, 4-2, whatever the case may be, that is impressive. And now looking at that schedule, you're saying to yourself, if they were able to navigate the toughest portion of their schedule and come out smelling like roses, why wouldn't they be able to do the same, if not better, in the second latter portion of their schedule? That's the reason why you should buy the Falcons. If they can remain healthy, the defense, you assume, will get better because they've got a lot of young guys. With experience comes better play. The offense has been dynamic. Again, if they stay healthy, that's not going to change. The schedule, to me, softens up towards the end of it. So I'm buying Falcons product, man. I'm buying stock in the Falcons right now. Buy it. It might be a little too late to buy low, but it's still at a reasonable price right now where you can still get in and still make a profit off of it. You wait till next week, and let's say they beat Seattle. That stock is going sky high, and you're not going to really be able to buy it and still make a profit off of it. So if you want in, get in now while you still can. Abraham Lopez says, Keanu Neal better be in it, LOL. He had a damn impressive game. After 3 games, made it into the top 10 rookies. He didn't make it on my list quite yet. He was solid. He was physical in that Broncos game, but still waiting for that one play, that one game-changing, defining play. Didn't see that. He may get some honorable mention love after this next game if he plays well, and if he plays well enough, who knows? We'll see. But normally you don't skip steps on a rookie wall. If you don't make it to the honorable mention, hard for you to just jump all of the guys that were honorable mentions and make your way straight to the wall. So we'll see what happens with that. Caleb Hazard says, Raiders undefeated since starting Carl Joseph. I'm just saying. I heard you loud and clear, and he was actually honorable mention on the rookie wall. The guy's been playing some outstanding football. Fumble recovery and interception in the Raiders' recent win over the Chargers. He made some impact plays. Mind Draw says Boza has to be honorable mention, and that he was. You make an impact like that, first game as a pro, 2 sacks, in a damn impressive showing. Yeah, your honorable mention there, my friend, and he was. Deron Johnson says, sup, bro? Sup, Deron? What's going on, man? Andrew Kim says, yeah, Howard has been great. He probably can start over Langford even when he comes back. This is Howard's job. Much like Billy Ho getting the green light to take Jay Cutler's job in Chicago, I'd like to think that the same can be said about Howard at the running back position. This is his job, and if he wants it, it's his job to have for the remainder of the season. And I don't see how you give it back to Langford. This guy's had nothing but 100-yard performances since he's taken over as Bears starting running back. Captain Spartan 04 says, do you think Matt Forte regrets going to the Jets? All he wants is a Super Bowl. Yeah, he does. And I could have told him that's not where you want to go. You want to go somewhere where you have a quarterback that can win you ball games, not New York with the Jets where you're playing with Ryan Fitzpatrick. But he had to learn the hard way. It's a shame because they actually got talent on that Jets football team. But when you don't have a quarterback, as I always say, you do not have a chance in this league. Ray Fitty says, what's good, bruh? If Atlanta beats Seattle, will you be on board with the Falcons this year? I'm already on board with the Falcons. Now, what I said is I'm not pushing my chips into the middle of the table. I won't do that. Now, I'll take a couple of my $50 chips, because I got a couple of $100 chips over here, but I'm not willing to risk those right now because of the past. But I'll take a couple of these $50, a couple of $10 chips, maybe a 25 and a 5. I'll push a couple of those to the middle of the table. I feel good about this Falcons team. I think they can win this season. No doubt about it. But I'm not willing to take all my chips like I did last year. I took every single chip I had. I put this to the middle of the table. I said, Falcons are winning the NFC South this year. And I got all my money taken away from me. One fell swoop. Went home with my head held down. So I already believe in the Falcons. Whether they win this game, lose this game, I still think the Falcons are a damn good football team. I think they're well on their way to winning the NFC South this season. And I think the future is bright for them if they can remain healthy. Can't stress that enough. A lot of injuries decimated this team last year. And we know the offense, it's predicated on Julio's health. You got both of your running backs were injured last year. Got to keep them healthy. So it's a matter of health for them. If they can stay healthy, this could be a dangerous team in Atlanta this season. Captain Spartan 04 says, do you think Alshon Jeffrey is the best free agent next year? Heard he's tired of being a Bear. Can't answer that right now. I don't know who all the free agents are going to be. Things change. We saw that last year with Josh Norman being cut loose. You just never know in this league anymore. So hard to really say if he's going to be the best of the best. He's going to be up there if he is, in fact, allowed to test the market. He's a really good receiver, but he's inconsistent at the same time. So don't really know if he's the best or not. We'll see. But so early in the season to be talking about free agency. It's got a long way to go before we get there. My man Sean Mack says, Cutler sucks. That's a hashtag, by the way, with exclamation points. Former Browns QB Hoyer is slaying it so far in 3 games with Jordan Howard. Miss him in Cleveland. Billy Ho, man, that guy's special. You know, and he's another one of these quarterbacks that I was ranting about on Monday night. That's one of these backups that he'll fool you, man. He'll play some good football, have you thinking you got a shot, and then pull the damn rug from under your feet. But Billy Ho's playing outstanding right now, and I didn't see it coming. But then again, I should have, because this is what Billy Ho does. Cubone Football says, what's up, Lou? Which team has disappointed you the most so far, and which team has impressed you so far? I think you could go to one division for that, you know. And to me, it's the NFC South. Who saw the Carolina Panthers sitting at 1-4 right now? I mean, come on, seriously. I looked at their schedule to start this season off, and I thought 3-2 at worst. Okay, maybe you don't beat the Broncos in week 1. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings, which I had them losing that game, comes to your crib, smacks you around, takes a W there. But you're supposed to beat San Francisco. You're supposed to beat Atlanta. You're supposed to beat Tampa Bay. You should be 3-2, and maybe even 4-1. Maybe you sneak the Broncos in week 1. Maybe Minnesota comes to your house and you're not having that disrespect and you kick them out and tell them leave with a L. Maybe that happens and you go to 4-1. Maybe you win all 5 of those games, but not 1-4. Maybe 2-3 at the worst, which they could have gotten to had Cam not gotten a concussion. But no one saw 1-4 coming. No one, not the biggest Carolina Panthers hater in the world, saw 1-4 coming as a start to the season for them. And conversely, the Atlanta Falcons. I told you what I thought of their schedule. I was the one that said this is a 6-win team at best this season. And I said, look, if they get out of their first 7 games at 1-6, it wouldn't shock me at all. It's that tough. At Denver, at Seattle, hosting the Carolina Panthers. These are all tough ball games. Okay? I looked at their schedule. I'm like, man, it's going to be tough sledding for the Atlanta Falcons. At Oakland? Wow, this is rough. And yet, they've navigated it. As a matter of fact, after losing in week 1, I said, okay, there's validation right there. Lost to Tampa at home in week 1. Since then, they haven't lost a game. They're 4-0. The offense has been outstanding, and the defense is starting to play ball. So, to me, the Falcons are my number 1 choice for most surprising team. I thought Minnesota could do this. I thought the Vikings had that in them. I thought the Raiders could do something and make some noise. Those aren't surprises to me. I didn't know where they're going to go out and actually do it, but I knew the potential was there for those teams. I didn't think the potential was there for Carolina to go 1-4 to start the season. I didn't think the potential was there for the Falcons to start the season off 4-1. I just didn't see that. So, to me, those are my biggest disappointments and surprises in terms of being impressed thus far this season. Captain Spartan 04. What player do you feel like is underrated this year? Yes, you can be Redskin biased to say a Redskins player. I don't think there's any underrated Redskins under the radar right now. Underrated player this season. Actually, I'm lying because Jamison Crowder has really impressed me this year, but I wouldn't even say he's the guy right now. Let's see. I'll tell you a guy that's playing some good football that none of you probably know his name unless you're a Lions fan. There's a defensive tackle by the name of Kerry Hyder Jr. that has at least 3 sacks this season, may even be up to as many as 4. He's playing some outstanding football for the Lions. And the crazy part is they don't have any edge rushers right now. So this guy's getting interior pressure with no threat of an outside rush because Ziggy Ansah has been injured the entire season. So that's a guy, that's a name to throw out there. But the sack leader, can any of you, and I dare you, and I'm looking in the comment section. I'm going to go straight to the bottom, and I'm going to come back to my point right now. I'm going to go straight to the bottom. Can any of you tell me who the sack leader in the NFL is right now without cheating? I'm going to give you 10 seconds. I'm going straight to the bottom right now. I want you to tell me who the sack leader in the NFL is right now. I'm looking. Type it in if you know it. Somebody type it in. I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds. And I know it's on a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna let y'all kind of don't cheat. Don't cheat. You cheated, Andrew. You cheated, AK. You cheated. My man AK already got it, but I think he cheated on me, man. There's no way he knew that offhand. He had to check it out while I was talking. He said, I'm going to go ahead and look this answer up real quick. But it's Lorenzo Alexander, ex-Washington Redskin, ex-Oakland Raider, ex-Arizona Cardinal, current Buffalo Bill. We used to call him one-man gang in D.C. because of how much of a beast he was in terms of special teams. And he used to do it all, and that's why they called him one-man gang. And he's leading the league in sacks right now with 7. None of you knew that. AK knew it, but I think AK cheated, but that's nor here nor there. Bottom line is, Lorenzo Alexander is lighting it up. And if you're looking for an underrated player, Kerry Hyder Jr., Lorenzo Alexander, you take your pick out of either one. And I think somebody typed into the discussion chat that he's actually got 5 sacks on the season, that being Kerry Hyder Jr. He's been an absolute monster this year. Matter of fact, I know he's got more than 3 because he had 2 against the Colts in week 1. So he's got to have 4 or 5. Someone said 5. Sounds good to me. He's underrated, and so is Lorenzo Alexander. All right, let's go back to the comment section. First name, last name says, Cubone, I know that's 4, but I'd have to say the most disappointing is San Diego and most impressive is Oakland. You could go with the Chargers. They could easily be 5-0 right now. Definitely. But this is the thing. In order for you to be disappointed, you had to have high expectations in the first place. Now, if you had high expectations for the Chargers, good for you. I didn't. I didn't think the Chargers were going to be that good of a football team. I was actually surprised at how well they had played to start the season, even though their games were resulting in losses that they should have won. I had no expectations, so I can't be disappointed in a team that I didn't have high expectations for in the first place. Can't let me down if I never thought you were good in the first place. Cubone Football says, Sean McKenzie said his name. That counts. Hashtag Cutler the loser. Cubone always on cue with the Cutler the loser hashtag. Andrew Kim says, top 5 worst defenses based on talent. Now that is a very convoluted question because if you just ask me the top 5 worst defenses, I'd be able to run off a few. But when you throw the key word in there, based off of talent, that phrase changes things because even though some of these defenses are bad, they may not be bad because of lack of talent. They may actually just be bad because they're not meshing together or they're young and they're making mistakes, things of that nature. Guys are injured. But there are a lot of bad defenses right now. And I know the Redskins, their defense is bad because of lack of talent. But I look at the Raiders and I'm like, I don't necessarily know if their defense is bad because of lack of talent. Just a bunch of young guys blind leading the blind out there, and they're not meshing together right now. Got a couple of key injuries along their defensive line that may be holding them back as well. So I'm hesitant to put a team like that up there. Saints, definitely lack of talent there. But also, in the same breath, a lot of young guys and a lot of injuries for the Saints. So kind of hard to answer that question when you throw the phrase based off of talent. I mean, look at the Dolphins. They stink. The Dolphins are funky. But you can't sit there and tell me that they don't have any talent on their defense. They got a bunch of guys. Maybe some of them past their prime. I will grant you that. But you're talking Sue, Cameron Wake, Super Mario, Kiko Alonso. There's talent on that team. Jones, the safety. Come on, there's talent on that team, but they're underachieving gravely. So, I mean, of course the Browns are in there. They don't have a ton of talent on defense, but it's a bunch of young guys as well. So kind of hard when you throw based on talent into the equation. Sean McKenzie says, my Buckeye Joey Bosa made me eat some crow. Bro? Not really. It's early. But yes, he's going to make you eat crow eventually. Yes, because I don't understand why people think he wasn't going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be a great fit in San Diego. You know, let me tell you the thing that was most impressive in his debut with the Chargers versus the Raiders on Sunday was they had him standing up. And Joey looked like he was in phenomenal shape. He came into the league at about 270, 275. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to stand up at the point of attack playing 5 tech at that weight. He's either going to have to put some on or he's going to have to drop some to stand up. And I still didn't think he was going to be athletic enough to stand up. But not only did he stand up and he looks good, he looks like he's about 260, 265 now. He dropped some weight, but he moved well. I was really impressed, man. He's going to fit right into that 3-4 scheme like a glove. Captain Spartan 04 says, Roberto Automatico Aguayo, a.k.a. the GOAT, should be number 1 on the rookie wall. He wins football games. I should have put him up there, too, and I actually thought about that, and I forgot to put him up there. It would have been a joke, but it would have been funny nonetheless. But, yeah, I missed my opportunity there. I dropped the ball on that one. Sean McKenzie says, F no, at Captain Spartan. I'll drive to Cleveland and punch those mofos in the face if they trade Crow. He's talking about Crowell, Isaiah Crowell, who's been probably one of the lone bright spots for them offensively this season along. I shouldn't say lone because also, of course, Terrell Pryor has made a name for himself around the league with his play this year, too. Bernard543 says, what's your take on Carl Joseph so far? He's everything I thought he would be at this point. He's young. He's going to make mistakes, but he's athletic. He flies to the football, has some ball skills, saw the pick. I thought he overran the pick and then had to jump in the air unnecessarily, but he still caught it, which is the most important thing. Had a great return after the pick. He's around the football. That's why he recovered the fumble of Melvin Gordon the third. So everything that I thought you were getting in him, you're getting, and he's only going to get better as he continues to play and develops in that Raiders defensive scheme under Ken Norton. So really like what I'm seeing out of Carl Joseph thus far. That's why he was an honorable mention on the rookie wall. Mind Draw says, I do believe Joe Thomas can go in a trade for a solid QB, but who? That's my point. Normally in these types of trades, you can't get equal value. When you trade a star, it's hard to get equal value. You know, I'm a Redskins fan, and when we traded Champ Bailey to the Denver Broncos for Clinton Portis, to me it wasn't equal value. And I want to say we even threw in a second-round pick to sweeten the deal, which to me, Champ Bailey was the greater of the two. There was no need for us to add any additional value, or it might have been the other way around. Broncos threw in a second-round pick. Either way, trading Champ Bailey in my mind wasn't the smart thing to do, but he didn't want to come back to D.C., so the thought was get something for him before he leaves for nothing. But you can't get equal value for a star. It's just almost impossible. And Joe Thomas, to me, is a guy that it's almost impossible. The only way you can recoup value there is by getting picks. Not any single player matched up with Joe Thomas makes sense in that type of deal. Deron Johnson says, will the Ravens beat the Giants and the Jets? Go Ravens. Well, I'll let you know how I feel about that in my picks a little bit later on in the program. Spectacular Pooh 24 says, how do you feel about Wentz versus Cousins? It's going to be a real juicy matchup. I mean, of course, I'm an NFC East nerd, so I'm biased, obviously, being a Redskins fan. But that's a juicy matchup, man. I love Carson Wentz. Love him, love him, love him. And he's come in and did exactly what I thought he could do. I just thought it was going to take him a year or two to do it. Him doing it this soon just adds to the legend of Carson Wentz. And I think Kirk Cousins is due for a big ball game. I'd love for it to come this Sunday versus the division rivals in the Philadelphia Eagles. Brian Emerson says, just got here. Has he gone over the picks yet? Of course not. I wouldn't go over the picks that early. Captain Spartan 04 says, I heard there's a missing report on Todd Gurley. Can you help me find him? As a matter of fact, I got a guy on the case right now, and you'll hear from him eventually down the road. But there is a all points bulletin being put out right now and an Amber Alert for the whereabouts of one Mr. Todd Gurley. Yes, indeed. Spectacular Pooh 24 says, how do you feel about Jordan Lewis? He looks like a real solid corner coming into the 2017 draft. Maybe I'll answer that in the college corner segment. Robbie Sohal says, yo, Lou, let me get another Julio. Julio! Y'all are stupid, man. Bernard543 says, are my Raiders not using Khalil Mack right? Nope, they're not. I get upset because they're asking him to do too much. Just let the man rush, please. Stop with all these different movements and lining him up on the left and the right side. Let him line up against the other team's right tackle every snap and let him whoop his ass. Stop moving him around. I know you want to make it hard for the defense or offensive line to account for him. Where's 52? We got to find him. I get it. I understand all of that. But it's not like this guy's going out and notching 2.5, 3 sacks every week like a Von Miller. Put him up against the other team's right tackle and let him dominate. Stop playing musical chairs with this man. Stop having him drop into coverage. Stop doing all of these things that are not utilizing his best skill set, which is getting after the quarterback. Let the man rush against the other team's right tackle and have at it. Mind Draw says, if the Patriots are going to keep Brissett, the Browns should go after Garoppolo. Somebody's going to go after Garoppolo. Slip Ammo says, I told Jets fans in the summer that they would have to ditch Fitz and scoop Hoyer. They called me crazy. Micah Pryor says, didn't I say the Raiders were going to tear it up this year? LOL. Well, it's only 5 games in. Relax. Okay, the Raiders still don't play any defense. They're 4-1, and that's great. But this is a team that still... Look, how many of these Raiders games could have went either way? I'm thinking of 3 right now in my head. I mean, you could easily throw the Tennessee Titans game in there, but I think they won that game. But they could have lost the Chargers game. Easily could have lost the Chargers game. Hell, at least overtime, potentially, if the snapper doesn't drop the football. Talking to you, Drew Kazar. Definitely could have lost in week 1 in New Orleans, a 2-point conversion away from losing that ball game. I mean, that's gutsy. It's ballsy by Jack Del Rio, but easily could have been a loss in week 1. And then, obviously, you could have lost against the Ravens, winning by 1 point. And I thought the Ravens coaching staff blew that game at the end. So while the Raiders are tearing it up, they're this close. It's a fine line you walk in this league between being 4-1 and 1-4. Go ask the San Diego Chargers. So, yes, they are tearing it up right now, but still a long, long season to go. Caleb Hazard says, which is the toughest division to win this year? Statistically, right now, the NFC East would be that division. I'm looking at that division, and I'm saying Cowboys are 4-1. Eagles are 3-1. Redskins are 3-2. I mean, don't count the Giants out at 2-3, but I mean that division is top heavy, and with a cumulative record, that the NFC East has the best record in all of the National Football League right now. I don't think the Rams are serious in the NFC West. I think the Seahawks have a golden opportunity to run away with that division with Arizona struggling. That Packers and Vikings division could get real tight because the Vikings are going to come back down to earth eventually, lose a couple of games, and the Packers are going to have a chance to just stay close. Don't lose any games you're not supposed to lose. Just keep pace with these guys, and eventually they'll fall back to the pack a little bit, and that should be a tight race towards the end. But really, that's about it when you think about divisional races. Patriots are probably going to win the East, probably win it comfortably, even though the Bills are giving them a run right now. I think when it's all said and done, Patriots run away with that one. AFC North, I think the Steelers, that's their division to lose. If they want that division, they can have it. You go to the AFC South, look, man, come on. It's the Texas division. If they want to win the division, beat the Colts and put that division to sleep right now on Sunday. So the way I look at it, NFC East is the toughest division to win this season. And that's just early. Things could change, but right now it's the NFC East. Hirsch Patel says, Morris Claiborne playing good so far. He is. I think he's getting away with a lot of holding, but he's playing probably the best football he's played throughout his career. Good for him. Bernard543 says, Michael Crabtree is underrated to me at least. Michael Crabtree's a good football player, and he's been beasting. When the Raiders have needed a big play, they've turned to Michael Crabtree out there in Oakland. Mind Draw says, my man Kerry Hyder has 5 sacks, LT. See? Dude is beasting, man. All right. BE says Lorenzo Alexander. Andrew Kim said Lorenzo Alexander. I think you guys cheated too. I really do. You guys did not know that offhand. You slicksters. I'm watching you. I'm watching you guys. Sean Mack says the AFC North has been disappointing this year. Not necessarily. Cincinnati has been a little disappointing, but I wasn't that high on the Bengals to begin with this season. I actually got it wrong. I was 1 year removed because last year I said the Bengals would be 8-8. I thought last year was the huge step back season. And all I had to do was wait a year until they allowed it to be a mass exodus in terms of their roster, allowing a bunch of guys to walk, including Reggie Nelson, Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and Andre Smith and all of those guys. And all I had to do was wait a year. And then I would see the effect take place. But I was a year early. I jumped the gun. But I didn't think the Ravens would be as good as they were to start the season. They're 3-2. And you could easily argue that they could have lost a game or two here or there, but they didn't. So I don't think that division has really underachieved that much. Bossaholic says Von Miller. Oh, no, you were guessing. No, it's not Von Miller. Or is it? Nope, it's not Von Miller. It's Lorenzo Alexander. He's got 7. I think Von has like 5 or 6. So, Brian Emerson says, I didn't have to look. I saw it yesterday. LOL. I told you I got my eyes on you, man. You slickster. All right. Andrew Kim says, nah, man, I wouldn't do that. I saw some Twitter football people discussing it. LOL. See, you guys are funny. So, and I'm not going to lie to you, I did the same thing. But see, I've been checking stats because of the rookie wall. So, and actually, when I watched the Bills game, he went off at the end of that game versus the Rams for 2 sacks at the end of that ball game. And I think he ended up with 3 for the entire game. And they said he leads the league in sacks. So that's how I knew because I watched the game. But you slicksters out there. All right. Sean Mack says, by your standards, with my Browns, I'll never be disappointed. LOL. Because I never really expect much from them. Hey, you a fool, Sean Mack, man. You are a damn fool, man. But that's the safest way to approach it. When you don't want to be let down and disappointed, lower the bar. I call it lowered expectations. Lower those expectations, man. You can't be disappointed when the bar is already set low, man. That's the way to go. I call it cautious optimism. Be optimistic, but make sure you're very cautious in your approach. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And with that comment, that's the perfect place to stop and jump into the next segment, Looky. Let's take that trip around the National Football League in week number 5.
Looky, I got hooky.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
All right, and as I pull up my picks from last week in my sheet with all the games, week 5 was a tricky week, and I knew it was going to be a tricky week, and I kind of thought that there was some chances for some upsets, but like I said, I've been a gutless wonder this year in terms of my picks. I got hurt early in the season, picking Jacksonville, going out on a limb for them, picking Buffalo, going out on a limb for them. And when you get punched in the gut, when you try to go out on a limb a couple of times and you get burnt, you kind of get a little nervous. You're like that little kid that finds out that the iron is hot. You touch it, whoa, and you start crying. You realize, I don't want to touch that again. It's pretty hot. I've been a gutless wonder since about week 2 or 3. So there were some opportunities for some upsets, and I chose not to pick them because when you're struggling with your picks, you feel like you need to go with the safe pick. And when you go with the safe pick all the time, when you go chalk, there's upsets every week, and you're going to miss out on them because you're too scared to pull the trigger. So let's run through these games. Arizona at San Francisco on Thursday night. Talked about that game already. Look, it wasn't pretty, but the Cardinals got it done, and they needed to win that football game. They go to San Francisco and win, and because of how ugly the 49ers offensive production was in that game, it has been all season for the most part outside of week 1. They're going to make a change at the quarterback position. Colin Kaepernick getting his first start. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to be much better than Blaine Gabbert. So we'll see. I wasn't impressed with Cap in the preseason. I haven't been impressed with Cap since John Harbaugh's left. And really, he hasn't been the same guy since they went to the NFC Championship game twice in a row, and one of those leading to a Super Bowl appearance. They haven't been, since they lost to Seattle in the NFC Championship game, 3 years ago, he hasn't been the same quarterback. So I'm anxious to see what he looks like, but I'm not encouraged. I'm not going into that game expecting much from Cap. New England at Cleveland. Who didn't see this one coming? I mean, seriously. Brady's back, and I would have at least liked to have seen the Browns keep one of their quarterbacks healthy so they could have had a fighting chance, because they actually moved the football down the field and scored a touchdown with Cody Kessler in the game. He gets injured, and the wheels just fell off of the Browns' bus. Brady goes bananas, over 400 yards passing. What's new? Is it me, or did Gronk just wait for Brady to come back to all of a sudden be magically healthy? He looked like a guy that was a shell of himself with all those other quarterbacks out there. He wasn't even getting a ball. And then there was a report that, Gronk's hurt, maybe out a while, and then he gets 100 yards receiving with Brady back. It's crazy, but Patriots take care of business, 33-13, as we knew they would versus the Browns. Eagles at the Lions. That was a big surprise, one of the biggest upsets of the weekend. Undefeated Eagles team coming off a bye, going to struggling Detroit to essentially go to 4-0 was the thought process. Lions show up big and jump those boys early. I mean, they came and they thought the Lions were going to lay down and the Lions were ready, willing, and able to put 21 points up on 3 straight possessions to start the game off to get out to a 21-0 lead. The Eagles would quickly trim that to 21-17 by the midpoint of the third quarter, and we had a ball game. Big fumble by Matthews at the end of that game led to the game-winning field goal by the Lions, who then got some big plays from Darius Slay, including the forced fumble of Matthews, and then the game-clinching pick to put that game away. They don't call him Big Play Slay for no reason. He made some huge ones down the stretch as the Lions get their second win of the season and give the Eagles their first loss of the season. Bears at the Indianapolis Colts. This was actually a rather entertaining football game. And these two teams aren't that far in terms of proximity from one another. A lot of Bears fans at this football game, as you would expect. You're talking about a good 3 to 5 hour drive between Chicago and Indy. So this was a really good football game, man. And I was actually pleasantly surprised once again with Billy Ho going out, stroking the football, almost 400 yards passing. Jordan Howard continues to shine at the running back position for the Bears, but it wasn't enough as Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton continued to be one of the most dangerous 1-2 punches in the entire National Football League. Indy pulls it out late over the Bears in a very compelling football game, 29-23. Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. This was one of those games I should have known better. I should have known better. And the Titans, I was so disappointed in what I saw from Marcus Mariota a week ago that I allowed that to cloud my judgment going into the game, but you still have to take this into consideration. They're playing against the Dolphins, who stink badly. They reek of funkiness right now. And the Titans went in there and manhandled those boys. Even gave up a special teams touchdown and still beat those boys by 2 touchdowns, 30-17. Houston, just let me say this before we move on. Tennessee, 235 yards rushing on that garbage Miami Dolphins defense. They should be ashamed of themselves. Houston at Minnesota. Who didn't see this one coming? I mean, the Texans offensively are struggling right now. And I know everybody wants to put it on Brock Osweiler. Go right ahead, knock yourself out. I'm putting it on the play callers. They are not doing him any favors. All these deep drops, 7-step drops, 5-step drops, allowing him to get his block knocked off. He's not comfortable. All these playmakers, yet they're not getting the football. You know why? Because you're not diagramming it up and giving him an opportunity to get the football out of his hands quickly and get it to these playmakers who can make plays once they have the football. I don't understand it. They go to Minnesota and get destroyed. At one point, the score was 31-7 in this game. Vikings win this game impressively over the Houston Texans. Jets at the Steelers. This actually was a close game for much of the football game. You're talking midpoint of the third quarter, and I want to say the Steelers were up by 4, 17-13. And this game was close for a while. Steelers run away with it late and get the win. Look, the Jets aren't going to win many games this year. They got Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. Eric Decker just put on IR. They're hurting out there. B. Marsh can't do it by himself. It's just not enough bullets in that gun, especially when the guy shooting it has a really, really suspect hand. He's shaking all over the place, forgets to take the safety off. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it doesn't matter how many bullets you got in the gun. When the guy shooting it doesn't have any aim, you're not going to hit the target many times. Steelers get that job done over the Jets, move to 4-1 on the season. Washington Redskins at the Baltimore Ravens. This was a good football game if you like defense or you like low-scoring ball games. The win was a huge factor. Ravens had ample opportunities. The play of the game, C.J. Mosley picks Kirk Cousins off at about the 15-yard line, has an opportunity for a pick six. If you're not getting in the end zone, let me give you a word of advice. Don't bowl the ball. Don't roll the ball into the end zone. That's not smart because you give the football back to the other team. That's what he did. But Ravens almost come away with the game. Late drive by Joe Flacco as he took his team down the field, threw it to Bashad Perryman in the back of the end zone. Didn't get 2 feet down. Initially ruled a touchdown, overruled by replay. Redskins hold on for a 16-10 victory in very windy Baltimore on Sunday. Atlanta Falcons at the Denver Broncos. This was one of the marquee matchups of week number 5 in the National Football League. This was impressive by the Falcons to go out to Denver to not only play good, but we knew they were going to, in the big buildup of the game, Falcons offense versus Broncos defense. But what it actually turned out to be was Falcons defense versus Broncos offense, because the Falcons jumped out to a 10-0 lead, which is exactly what you wanted to do to a rookie quarterback. Put the pressure on him to win this game. And after you jumped out to the 10-0 lead, that's exactly what happened. You put the onus on Paxton Lynch to have to win. And in past weeks, it would have seemed like he would have been able to do whatever the hell he wanted to do to this Falcons defense. They weren't having it in that game. They were physical. They were flying around to the football. They made plays. Vic Beasley with 3.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Who knew? Vic Beasley, where have you been? Can we get that again? I'm looking for an encore. Yes, I want more. Let's see if we can get that from Vic Beasley. Falcons go get a huge road win against the undefeated Super Bowl defending champions, who are no longer perfect on the season, knocking them down 23-16. At one point, this game was 23-6. Cincinnati at Dallas, another game that we had high hopes for. Thought it was going to be high drama and Big D. They put that drama to rest quick, fast, and in a hurry. 21 points in the first half to nothing for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then Ezekiel Elliott with a 60-yard run to start the third quarter. 28 unanswered points to start the game for the Cowboys. They win 28-14. Dominant performance. They put it on cruise control after the final touchdown. The defense surprisingly continuing to play solid football, even though Cincinnati was moving the football. Once they got to midfield, that's when they would self-destruct. I thought Marvin Lewis was a really, really soft P word in this game, because he had opportunities to go for it on 4th and short early in the game. Look, man, you're 2-2 on the season. Stop being soft. Go for it on 4th down. And he elected to punt. Cowboys said, cool, we'll take the football and go 95, 80, 85 yards for a touchdown. And that's what they did. And they lost the game, did the Cincinnati Bengals, who dropped to 2-3 on the season. Cowboys take sole possession of first place with the win at 4-1. San Diego Superchargers taking on the Oakland Raiders in this ball game. And it was a really good football game. And the crazy part about this game was at halftime, it was 10-9. No one expected the 34-31 shootout that we got, when the score at halftime looked more like a 17-13 finish in this game. And turned out to be some compelling football, a bunch of turnovers, 4 to be exact for the Chargers in this game. Can't win like that. Some costly mistakes late, including having the game-tying field goal potentially having the snap go right through the holder's hands in punter Drew Kazar. Chargers lose 34-31. Raiders get the victory. 4-1 for the Raiders this season. They're now tied for first place in the AFC West with the Denver Broncos. Huge matchup for the Raiders this week as they remain at home hosting yet another family member, this time the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs! Coming off of a bye and an ass whooping. They're mad. Let's see if the Raiders can hold serve. Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams. One of the few ones I got right. Saw this one coming a mile. You know why? Because the Rams have Case Keenum at quarterback. I'm not going to keep telling you that over and over again. Just know the Rams have Case Keenum. That being said, but Bills go in, play dominant defense, run the football. Shady McCoy went bananas in this game. And Tyrod Taylor did just enough. And that's the recipe for this Bills team moving forward. Run the football with Shady. Tyrod Taylor do just enough. Defense dominate. Your end result, a win on the road versus the Los Angeles Rams, who were hot after losing their first game and being shut out. Winners of 3 straight, lose the football game 30-16 Bills. After starting the season 0-2, now winners of 3 straight, 3-2, and only 1 game back of the New England Patriots. You heard it here first. New York Giants, Green Bay Packers, Sunday Night Football. The Giants continue to struggle. Defensively, they're playing good football. Picked Aaron Rodgers off twice. Gave this team a chance by hanging in. But the offense continues to struggle. Eli Manning, not comfortable. He's really, really fidgety in the pocket. Anytime pressure gets near him, he's drilling the ball into the turf. He thought he forced the football to Odell Beckham way too many times. Too many targets for him. Not when you got Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz. You got Victor Cruz. And Sterling Shepard on the other side or in the slot. There's no reason to force the football to Odell Beckham. Shame on you when you force the football to Old Dirty Beckham. No, don't throw it to him 13 times and only complete 5 of them. You got other guys that can make plays. They continue to struggle. They lose this football game to the Packers 23-16. Monday Night Football, what a game that was. Literally. That was a stinker for most of the game. High drama late. 17-14 win for the Bucs. They go to 2-3 on the season. Panthers surprisingly dropped to 1-4. And I don't know if they can climb out of that hole. I'm already burying the Panthers this season. They're done. But like I said before, they've got a heart of a champion. We'll see what happens. Cam looks like he's going to be able to play this week at New Orleans. It's a must-win for the Panthers if they want to have any semblance of a season. For the Saints coming off of a bye week, let's see what happens there. But for the Buccaneers, you get a big win. If I'm not mistaken, they got a bye week coming up. We'll see what happens, but that was a crazy game. Bucs get to 2-3 on the season with the win. So we'll get to some more of your comments before we move on to the next segment, College Corner. Let's see what you guys are talking about now. See where I left off. Captain Spartan 04 says, better young team. Assume the Chargers get a quarterback this draft. Chargers or Buccaneers? Chargers. I love the Chargers roster. I do. I actually think their defense isn't that bad. They just can never stay healthy. I love Jason Verrett. Can never stay healthy. But I like what they're building on the defensive side. Jatavis Brown, I like him a lot. Joey Bosa looks like he has a bunch of promise. I just like what they're building out there. You know, they've been building up the linebacker position for quite some time. I really like what they have on offense. Surprisingly enough, Hunter Henry, Triple H looks like he's legit. Even though Melvin Gordon has had some fumbling issues, I like him too. I think they got some stuff out there. And a lot of these young receivers, Inman and Tyrell Williams, they look legit. So I think I like what the Chargers have. I mean, the Bucs have some stuff, but I'm not overwhelmed by their stuff. I think the Chargers really, again, the Chargers could be 5-0. Seriously, I hate to keep saying that because they're 1-4. But how many teams do you know of in the past 10 years started the season off 1-4 and in every single game outside of this Raiders game had the lead with 2 minutes or less in the game and lost? That's rough. Sean Hawk says, who is more equipped to win the AFC South? The Texans, they are. I mean, they play defense, which no other team in the division can really say. Outside of the Titans, I actually think the Titans don't play that bad a defense. But they also, I think, have the weapons to become a better offense. As the year progresses and they figure out how to utilize the weapons that they have, I think they have a chance to really be explosive on offense. We saw a snippet of this in the preseason versus the Arizona Cardinals when they lit it up in the first half of that game. They can be that type of team. They just got to figure it out, put the pieces together. They're the most equipped to win that division. The Colts have the best quarterback, but he doesn't have the best supporting cast. The defense stinks, and the offensive line is still a train wreck. Micah Pryor says, imagine the possibilities of Deshaun Watson getting drafted by San Francisco and hooking up with Chip Kelly. Oh, what a wonderful dream that would be. Go ahead and dream it, man. Maybe it'll come true. Just maybe. Enrique Valencia says, top 5 QBs through the first 5 weeks. All right. This is going to surprise some of you how this list is going to play out. Number 1 on my list. You know what? I'm going to build the suspense. So we're going to start at number 5. Number 5. Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has no supporting cast in terms of the offensive line. He has to do it by himself still. They could easily be 0-5 right now. If not for Andrew Luck, they probably are. They don't beat the Chargers. They don't win last week versus the Bears if they don't have Andrew Luck. They could have won other games this season. This defense is horrible, okay? They gave up a ton of points to Detroit. He leads them down the field with a game-winning score with 41 seconds left, only to have the defense surrender a field goal to allow the Lions to win that game. What can you do? When you do your job, what can you do when the defense doesn't do theirs? Andrew Luck has been outstanding this year. Say what you want. Andrew Luck's been outstanding. I could have thrown Sam Bradford in there, but no, I'm not going to do that. That's too easy. Number 4, Ben Roethlisberger. He's been really good, man. He's really good. We've seen all the touchdowns. Last 2 games, 9 touchdown passes. Guy's been outstanding this year. Their offense is going to be the catalyst to any success that they have, and it starts with big number 7 in the backfield. Love what he's doing. Number 3, Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback. I know that they had a bye week too, so that always helps, but I know he's a rookie. I know they've tailored the offense to his strengths, but he's been outstanding. 7 touchdown passes, threw his first interception last week against Detroit. He's managing the game. He's using his legs. He doesn't look like a rookie. He's operating like a 7-year vet, not a first-year rookie, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. So he's number 3 on the list. Number 2, Dak Prescott, leading the Cowboys to a 4-1 record. Hasn't thrown an interception yet. Had his first turnover in the last game on a fumble versus Cincinnati. This guy has been electric, not only with his arm, 69, and I said this in the rookie wall, 69.7% completion percentage. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? 70% clip? Really? For a rookie? Come on, man. That's insane. Wentz isn't that far behind at 67 and some change. I mean, these guys are lighting it up, but he also can hurt you with his legs. 4 touchdowns passing, no interceptions. 3 more rushing touchdowns with his legs. Second behind his teammate, Ezekiel Elliott, for most rushing touchdowns from a rookie this season. This guy's playing outstanding football. He's not turning it over. He's managing the game well. He's my second best quarterback. And my number one quarterback, my new man crush in terms of quarterbacks in this league, the 4 car, Derek Carr. Oh my God, this guy is so clutch. 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 2-point conversion. Jack Del Rio is rolling the dice, and the only reason Jack Del Rio is rolling the dice is because of the 4 car. He knows on 4th and 2 against the San Diego Chargers, down 8, I can go for it. You know why? Because Derek Carr is going to throw the perfect, most beautiful fade ball over the outside shoulder to the most sure-handed receiver we got in Michael Crabtree, and he's going to catch it. And that's only because I have a quarterback that I have the utmost trust in. With the game on the line against New Orleans, what did he do? Take his team down the field, score a touchdown. But that wasn't enough. Jack said, let's go for 2. What does he do? Throw a fade ball to Michael Crabtree for the game winner. You go to week 3 against Tennessee. Made some plays in that ball game late. Okay? You go to week 4. Made some plays against the Ravens. They're down in that game, 22-28. He takes them right down the field, throws it to Crabtree in the back of the end zone with less than a minute to go to win that game. You go to week 5, clutch throw after clutch. They were down. Don't forget. They were down in that game. They weren't always winning. They were down. Pressure on them. Mark Cooper streaks open. Off of his back leg, flings it. In stride to Amari Cooper. Touchdown. 4th and 2. You're still down in the game by 1. 4th and 2. From your own 20-yard line. Coach says, hey, stay on the field, offense. Hey, Derek, make it happen. They called a run play. He checks to a fade. That's balls. Balls, I tell you. Perfect fade over the outside shoulder to Michael Crabtree. Converts the 2-point conversion to Amari Cooper. You're down 1. Now you're up 7. Love me some 4-car. He's the number 1 quarterback right now. Anyhow, Spectacular Pooh 24 says, we are both NFC East nerds. LOL. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Sean Mack says, an Amber Alert for Gurley. That's funny. LMA. All right. Did you, Hirsch Patel says, did you expect the Cowboys defense to stop AJ Green? Why not? The Dolphins are dummies, and they aren't any good because look around. Just take, let me just, I want you to take a second. Browse that Cincinnati Bengals offense. Just take a quick look around. Look at all 11 guys on the field. One's going to have the ball, so you don't need to worry about him. Look at the other 10. 5 of them are blocking up front. Don't need to worry about them. So now you're down to just 5 eligibles, okay? So scan those eligibles. Look around. Who do you see? Tyler Boyd, Brandon LaFell, Giovanni Bernard, CJ Uzama. Does any of those other guys scare you? Ooh, I know. Louie Tee. No, they don't. So you know what I would do if I'm playing the Cincinnati Bengals? Take 18 out the game. Make one of these other bums beat me. Work like a charm. Too bad the Dolphins were too dumb and stupid to figure that out. It took them 11 catches and 180 yards to figure that out. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. I don't know. Anyway, we move on. Bernard543 says, do you think Mac is better standing up or with his hand in the ground? I actually like him with his hand in the dirt, personally, but that's just me. BE says, are you surprised with the Arizona Cardinals outside linebacker Marcus Golden right now, tied for a 3rd in sacks with 6 on the year? I actually am, because when he came out of Mizzou, I said he's too slow to be a dynamic pass rusher. He's a power guy, a try-hard. One thing I loved about him coming out of Mizzou is he's going to hustle. He's not going to ever give up on a play. Relentlessness. Relentlessness is good for 2 to 3 sacks a season if you got enough of it. But 6, that's a lot. And he's been balling. Really been impressed with what he's done this season thus far. All right. Mind Draw says, just lost my place. Yikes. Buddy. I lost my place good, too. All right, here we are. Mind Draw says, I'm afraid Todd Gurley will be found in the Lions' end zone. It's possible. Look, when you have a missing persons case, sometimes these are the things that happen. They're going to turn up eventually. You just hope it's not in your town. That's all. We'll see. Being a Raiders fan, I like that, and this is Bernard543. Being a Raiders fan, I like that we're 4-1, but I believe that the D really, really, really needs to improve. That's an understatement. We can get to the playoffs with our offense alone, but the D wins playoff games. You are spot on, Mr. Bernard543. And I feel the same way about my Redskins. I can get to the playoffs with my offense, but if we don't improve defensively, you don't stand a chance in the playoffs because everybody's good. You can get by, beating garbage teams in the regular season. You'll play the Browns, you'll play the Ravens, and maybe you sneak by the Ravens because their offense stinks, because their offensive coordinator stinks. And you sneak a team here or there, and next thing you know, you're in the playoffs. It's great. But now what happens when you play in Green Bay and the next week you got to play Minnesota and the next week you got to play Atlanta? You can't get away with having a suspect defense. Or if you're Oakland and in the first week of the playoffs, damn, right out the gate, you got to play Denver. Or boom, right out of the gate, you got to play New England or Pittsburgh. That ain't going to fly. So, yeah, your defense has got to improve. Captain Spartan 04 says, with the Eagles having Wentz, Cowboys, Prescott, Redskins, Kirk, and the Giants getting Mason Rudolph this offseason, do you like your divisions? Really? You're going to give the Giants a quarterback already? You're a funny guy, Captain. Micah Pryor says, how long do you think it will take Jared Goff to start? That's the $100 million question right now, because you look around the league, and I hate to compare guys to other players because every player is their own entity. Don't compare me to this guy or that guy, but it's impossible not to. When you go number one and a guy goes right behind you at number two and another guy goes in the fourth round and they're starting and you're not and you were number one overall, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. And everybody knows it's not like it's a situation with Carson Palmer in his rookie year and John Kitna's lighting it up. Or Drew Brees in San Diego and Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees is lighting it up. And you're like, okay, man, you got to sit down. I'm sorry. This guy's lighting it up. You got to wait your turn. Hey, Case Keenum stinks. What are we waiting on here? But obviously, they feel like Case Keenum gives them the best opportunity to win, which in turn makes me say, what does that say about Jared Goff? Again, I'm just saying everybody matures at a different rate. So I'm not holding it against him. I'm just like, hey guys, anytime now, I'm waiting. What are you going to do? Wait till you're sub 500 before you put him in? Why not give him a head start? Give him a chance. I get it though. I understand. I just don't like it. All right. B3 says, man up and say Matty. Oh, there we go again. He's back at it. Brian Emerson says, just posted my week 6 predictions. Can you take a look and see if you see mine there? And so I'm locked in. All right, when I take a look, because remember, I told you when we get to Louie Tee versus the world, and we're going to move on now and get to College Corner quickly. And then we're going to move on to Louie Tee versus the world so we can wrap this thing up. I don't want to keep you guys here too late tonight. All right. So with that being said, let's go to the College Corner. All right. So looking at the College Corner, quickly want to recap some of the games from last week. Just go over those quickly, then I'll give you my top 5 games for this week, and then we'll move on. So, last week, top 5 games, LSU versus Florida got canceled due to Hurricane Matthew, so no football there. The 4th game, Virginia Tech at Carolina. Tech destroys Carolina. Carolina is no longer ranked because of the ass whooping they took at home. Meanwhile, Va-Tech shoots up the AP rankings. I think they're up around 17 or 16, somewhere in there. As you can see, the rankings scrolling up and down the corner. So the Va-Tech somewhere in there. Big win. Justin Fuentes has those boys balling out there. And now Va-Tech is ranked 17th in the nation. 3rd game, Florida State, Miami was a doozy on Saturday night. Late game drama as the Canes weren't able to get it done. Allowed Florida State to come back and take that football game from them. Miami drops a bunch. Florida State makes their way back up the AP poll. So that was a big ACC showdown in that ball game. Number 2, Alabama, Arkansas, really a no contest. Alabama took it to them from the start of this ball game and did not let up. Handling Arkansas very handily, pushing Arkansas way down the polls towards the bottom to number 22. Alabama remaining your number 1 team in the nation. And the most thrilling game of the weekend, and any game, frankly, with Tennessee seems to be the most thrilling game of the weekend. Texas A&M, Tennessee seem to be over, which it seems like with every game with Tennessee, it seems to be over, and the Volunteers don't know how to die. They always make a ball game of it. It's a hell of a finish, as it always is with the Tennessee Volunteers. This time, however, they were on the wrong end as they lost in overtime to Texas A&M. So A&M goes up to number 6, I believe, in the AP rankings now, and Tennessee drops a couple. Matter of fact, Tennessee stays at number 9. So heck of a ball game there. Let's get to my big matchups for the week. And before we move on, Houston, huge loss at Navy, destroys any hope of Houston making it to the playoffs. But I think it might have had a double impact. I think Louisville now is another team that is impacted by that loss. They needed Houston to be undefeated. They needed that game. Despite the loss, I still think Louisville finds a way to sneak into the playoffs. I just do. I think Clemson slips up somewhere late in the season when it's too late to overcome it. Louisville finds a way to get into the playoffs, but they really, really needed Houston to stay undefeated. It would have made their job a lot easier. That was a big loss. So, all right, we got a couple of ranked teams playing against one another. So I've got 1, 2, 3. See if I can find another one. 4 and 5. I've got my 5 big matchups in week number, I guess we're in week 7 of the college football season. All right, starting with number 5. Wake Forest at Florida State. Wake Forest is 5-1 on the season, under the radar in the ACC, playing some good football. They're going to Florida State. Florida State still has defensive issues, even though they held Miami down. Still think they have some defensive issues. Wake Forest can score. We'll see what happens in this game. 5-1 Wake Forest traveling to Florida State to take on the Seminoles, who are ranked 14th in the nation. People think it's going to be a blowout. I'm not so sure about that. We'll see. To me, that's a big matchup in the ACC. We go to another matchup in the ACC. Recently knocked from the ranks of the ranked North Carolina, 4-2 at 4-1 Miami. 16th ranked Noles looking to protect the house, something they couldn't do a week ago versus the Florida State Seminoles. Now they have a very dangerous and wounded North Carolina team coming to town. If you're Miami and you have any shot at trying to get to any kind of ACC championship game, you got to run the table, and it starts this weekend at home versus North Carolina. Next matchup. Number 12, Ole Miss at number 22, Arkansas, some SEC football. Ole Miss, despite having lost 2 times this season, ranked 12th overall. They've played by far the toughest schedule of anybody in the nation, and it's not even close. So they've been rewarded with the 12th overall ranking in the nation. And so they're at Arkansas, even though they got beat down by Alabama. Don't make the mistake of thinking that Arkansas isn't good, because they are. They're ranked 22nd, so this is one of those ranked matchups. And so I expect this to be a heck of a ball game. And I expect Ole Miss to go in there and win, but it would not shock me in the least if they don't get it done against Brett Bielema and his crew up in Arkansas. The number 2 matchup of the weekend pits the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes, the Ohio State University Buckeyes, 5-0, taking on the number 8 team in the nation, the Wisconsin Badgers. This is a top 10 matchup between 2 teams playing some outstanding football. And who thought before the season started that the Wisconsin Badgers would be ranked 8th at the time of this matchup with Ohio State? It's going to be raucous at Camp Randall. 4-1 Badgers, 5-0 Ohio State Buckeyes. This is a big one, because if the Buckeyes are serious, they need to go into Camp Randall and handle their business versus the Buckeyes. And the number 1 matchup in college football this weekend, the number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide traveling to Tennessee to take on the Volunteers. Seems like the Volunteers are just playing big matchup after big matchup. And this was the Murderers Row section of their schedule. Some big matchups in a row. At Georgia. They had Florida already. They were at Texas A&M, and this is the last of that murderous stretch. And the key was just navigate your way through. Well, this is the last of that stretch. And if they can find some way to beat Alabama, Tennessee Vols could find themselves in the playoffs when it's all said and done. It's a big one. They're at home 5-1 versus the 6-0 Alabama Crimson Tide. A 1 versus a 9. 2 top 10 teams. Should be a dandy. Every Tennessee game has been close and has been a barn burner. I expect this to be similar to those. So that is your College Corner. Going to check your comments quickly. And I apologize if I skipped some of your comments. I just want to get to a couple of your college comments. I know someone earlier asked me about the Florida corner. He looks good. He looks really good. There are a couple of corners that look the part in college football, and he is definitely one of them. Let's see. All right. I'm going to get to some of your college comments, and then we'll move on. Like I said, I apologize if I missed some of your comments, but we got to move on. I don't want to keep you guys here longer than I need to, and I want to get to some of these college comments. So, Eagles Speed is a nerd says, what if a team like Troy, I think he gave me one of these hypotheticals last week, destroy Alabama by a score of 70-0? What would Alabama's rank be? Alabama would probably drop out of the top 20. You lose to Troy 70-0, and you go from number 1 to like 21st in the nation. That's what would probably happen to them. They wouldn't go unranked, but they would fall down pretty low. Pretty low. And I'm probably over-exaggerating. They probably go down to like 16th in the nation. Seriously. But Troy, I don't know about that. Hirsch Patel says, Jalen Hurts, playing some good ball for Alabama right now. Which college team has the most bandwagons? I don't know. Because most college football fans are not bandwagoners. Straight up. College football has more passionate fans than NFL franchises do. So you get more loyalty because people graduate from there. Their kids are raised in that environment. I'd like to tell you that there aren't many bandwagon fan bases in college football. So hard for me to answer that because I don't know of any bandwagon fan bases in college football. Sean Mack says, Buckeyes, we are going to whoop some Badger ass on Saturday night, bro. My Buckeyes are going to win it all. Like your shot. Like your chances, man. Captain Spartan 04 says, I hate Houston, man. Why did they have to do us like that? Yeah, that was a rough one, man. You really needed them to win. And they couldn't get it done. DG Production says, how could have the LSU-Florida game been handled better with scheduling? I mean, I don't know. It's a tough situation. It's always tough because, you got to remember, too, these are college kids. They got schoolwork. They got other obligations. I don't really even know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there with a great answer. I'm just not the guy with that answer. But I don't know, to be honest with you. Sean McKenzie says, as a Navy veteran, go Middies. Proud of the men. They were so excited. If you watched the end of that game as I did, they stormed the field. They were so excited. Man, was that a big win for them. Mind Draw says, I hope Jabril Peppers stays in Michigan with the Lions as a linebacker DB. Lions won't have a early enough pick to get their hands on that young man. He's going top 5. No doubt about it. Captain Spartan 04 says, did Deshaun Kaiser raise or lower his stock? I mean, they played in a monsoon. You can't take anything away from that game. It was the worst conditions ever. Spectacular Pooh 24 says, I asked about the Michigan corner, the Lewis guy. Okay, yeah, the dude that made the one-hand pick versus Wisconsin a couple weeks back. Yeah, he's good. You've got Tabor, you've got Lewis, you've got a number of good corners in college football. He's such an athlete. Like Michigan on the sneak has some athletes. I don't think they have enough of them to compete with Ohio State. I could be wrong, but I don't think they have enough of them to compete quite yet. But give Harbaugh one more year of recruiting, and he's going to start filling that roster up full of athletes, much like Lewis, much like Peppers. He's going to have that roster chock full of guys that can run really, really fast and compete with the SEC guys. And it's not going to be long before Michigan is right there. I know a lot of people think they're right there. I'm not. So even though they did what they did, they didn't have to do Rutgers like that. You didn't have to do Rutgers like that. 78-0. Really? Really? Come on, man. And I don't know what the guy's name is, the corner for Michigan. I don't know if it's Lewis or not. I might be getting my corners mixed up. But they got a corner out there, the one that made the one-handed pick. I know who he is. I don't remember his name. But in any event, we're going to see. Let's see. Let's keep going. Thoughts on Western Michigan being ranked? They earned it. They 6-0. I'm all for it. That was from Captain Spartan 04. Captain Spartan 04 says, thoughts on Rutgers? They were overmatched. I asked for Michigan to go on the road and beat somebody, and they said, all right, we're going to go on the road and beat somebody. Pick on somebody your own size, man. That was an atrocity, man. I tweeted out that Jabril Peppers played all 11 positions on offense for the Wolverines. He played all 22 positions, actually, offense and defense, and scored all 11 touchdowns for the Wolverines in that game. It was ridiculous. All right. That being said, let's move on to what you've all been waiting for. Louie Tee versus the world.
Of the world, Craig. Shit, not just the city, the world.
Louie Tee versus the world. Come get some.
I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
All right, so your man Louie Tee went 7-7 last week, and I actually am not that ashamed of 7-7 because last week was a tricky week, and I knew it was going to be a tricky week, and I did something that I generally don't do, which is go reverse Jedi mind trick with my team. I am not a very superstitious guy, but I can be a little superstitious when it comes to my Washington Redskins. And so I picked the Ravens last week instead of my boys because I thought if I would pick the Redskins, they would have lost the game. So I was willing, and this is how you know I'm a true fan, all right? I'm willing to take an L for the fellas in order to ensure victory. And so I picked the Ravens, knowing in my mind that I was picking the Ravens because I thought that if I picked the Ravens, the Redskins would win, and it came to fruition. So I'm proud of myself for sacrificing because I hate losing. But when it comes to my Skins, I got a soft spot in the heart for those boys. My heart pumps burgundy and gold blood, man, and so I had to give it up for the fellas, and I took one for the team, man, and I'm not ashamed of it. Could have easily got that win if I would have picked my boys, but if I would have picked them, C.J. Mosley wouldn't have fumbled that pick, and we would have lost that game. So I did the right thing, and I don't regret it. But let's go over these picks quickly that I made, and then we're going to get to your picks in this game. All right. I picked San Francisco Thursday night. They were up 7-0, and then Carlos Hyde starts flexing on cats, and the game went downhill from there. I never forgave Carlos Hyde that night. He pissed me off. That was my first loss. Eagles lose to the Lions on the road. Who had that one? If you're not a Lions fan, I don't even know if Lions fans had enough confidence to pick their team in that game, but maybe they did. But outside of them, who's picking the Lions in that game? I mean, seriously, shoot me. That's my second loss. Miami, I should have known better. I admit, the Dolphins are trash. They are hot buns right now. I deserve that loss. I told you I was a gutless wonder in week 7. I deserve that. I got a yellow streak down my back. Because I thought about that. I even thought about the Lions. It crossed my mind, but it was a fleeting thought. I said, right now, you're not hot. If I was hot, I would have picked the Lions. I'm not hot right now, so I can't go out on a limb and do that. Same with Miami. I would have picked Tennessee if I was hot. I'm not hot right now. So, got to go with what you know. And obviously, I didn't know a goddamn thing. Dolphins, that's my third loss. I had New England, they won. I had Indy, they won. I had Minnesota, they won. I had Pittsburgh, they won. Baltimore, I told you what I did there. Picked the Ravens. Reverse Jedi mind trick. It worked. I'm not ashamed of that loss. I'm actually excited about that, L. Atlanta, I had Denver. Versus Atlanta, I had Denver. I didn't know at the time. I was confident that Trevor Siemian was going to play. He didn't. And the Falcons actually played some defense. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Vic Beasley getting 3.5 sacks and forcing 2 fumbles. Neither did you. So, another loss. That's my 5th loss of the afternoon. Cincinnati. Boy, was I wrong. Those guys stink. And the Cowboys just... I tweeted out during the game, the Cincinnati Bengals are a trash can, and the Dallas Cowboys are filling them up. It's 28-0 in that game. Shameful. That's my 6th loss. Had the Raiders, had the Bills. That bailed me out. I would have been below the Mendoza line if I was wrong. That was the one ballsy pick I made last week, but I was adamant about that because you know why. You know why I was. That's why I can't even really give myself credit for that, because you know why I was ballsy there. Because they got Case Keenum at quarterback. It's not hard to be ballsy when the other teams got Case Keenum at quarterback. I got the Green Bay Packers, and I had Carolina for my 7th and final loss of the week. And at that point, really, I didn't care when the Panthers lost. So, your man Louie Tee, 7-7, straddling that Mendoza line. But like I said, I don't ever go below, man. It's dark, it's scary, and it's nasty down there, man. But I know a couple of y'all did. I had one person before the week was over was like, hey, can I get my dunce cap in teal blue, please? So I know some of y'all went below the Mendoza line. It was an ugly enough week that I'm guaranteeing you, at least 2 of y'all traveled below the Mendoza line. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all. But I don't get pleasure out of others' misery. I get pleasure out of my own success. So I got to step my game up, man. I only get pleasure out of others' misery when I'm able to look down at you from the double-digit platform, you know? And you'll get a kick out of my analogy when I give you my picks at the end of the program. But let's get to your picks this week on the program and talk about what you guys were able to accomplish this week. Because, like I said, it's going to be different this week because I didn't look at your picks beforehand. Last week, I already knew who had done what. I didn't do that this week. So because I didn't do that this week, I don't know. So I'm just as surprised as you are. We're going to find this out together. So let's do that right now. So we start with, let's get all the way to the bottom of your picks for the week. And I should have had this already loaded up, but I was rushing. And so it's taking a long time to load up. All right. Let the games begin. So, and yes, BE, I have your picks. I'm looking right now at them, along with Sean Mack, Sean Hawk, Robbie Sohal, Caleb Hazard, Andrew Kim, all have your picks for week 6. So, let's go to week 5. And boy, there were a lot more picks this week than there were last week. So we start with Andrew Kim, my man AK. See what we got. Cards. Ravens, 1. Pats, Eagles, 2. Colts, Dolphins, 3. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 4. Bengals, 5. Rams, 6. Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 7. So have a seat right next to me. You didn't do that bad, but you didn't do great either. But like I say every week, man, there's plenty of room on the 7-7 Mendoza line bench. Have a seat next to me, AK. We're going to have company. Trust me. There's more to come. Teddy Roachless. Cards, Skins, Patriots, Eagles, 1. Colts, Dolphins, 2. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Rams, 5. Packers, Raiders, Panthers, 6. Let me do that again. I think he might have been at 7. I might have miscounted. Eagles, 1. Dolphins, 2. Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Rams, 5. Yep, I got it right. 6. So he went 8-6 after the Panthers weren't able to get it done for Teddy Roachless. Robbie Sohal. See what my man Robbie did. Cardinals, Vikings, Colts, Steelers, Dolphins, 1. Eagles, 2. Patriots, Ravens, 3. Broncos, 4. Bengals, 5. Raiders, Bills, Packers, Panthers, 6. Not bad. 8-6 for Robbie Sohal. Robbie held it down, 8-6. It was a tough week, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Double digits is going to be hard to come by this week. Speaking of double digits, my man BE has been bragging all weekend. I got double digits. I got double digits. Let's see if he, in fact, has double digits. Cardinals, Ravens, 1. Patriots, Lions. Wow. See, when guys go out on a limb and do ballsy stuff like that, that's how you end up with double digits. You can also end up below the Mendoza line if you're not careful. But if you strategically pick the right ones, that's what I used to do, man. I got to get back on my horse. Lions, Colts, Dolphins, 2. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Bills, Raiders, Packers, Bucks, 10-4 for BE in week number 5. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if that man's going to have much company in the double-digit club this week. I'm just saying. Hard this week. 40, Sean Hawk. Hawk! 49ers, just like me. Damn. 1. Redskins, Patriots, Eagles, 2. Bears, 3. Dolphins, 4. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 5. Cowboys, Rams, 6. Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 7. Hey, have a seat next to me and AK on this 7-7 bench, Hawk. No problems, man. No problem at all. We move on to the next set of picks. Caleb Hazard. 49ers, damn, they got you too, huh? Bastards. That's 1. Ravens, 2. Patriots, Eagles, 3. Colts, Dolphins, 4. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 5. Bengals, 6. Bills, Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 7. Plenty of room on this bench, man. Straddling this Mendoza line. Go ahead, cop a squat over here with us. Sean Mack. I see too many upsets on this sheet, man. I see a lot of upsets. And if I see upsets, that means you either did really good or you did really bad. Let's see what Sean Mack has to say with his week 5 picks. 49ers, upset. Damn those Niners. 1. Patriots, Eagles. 2. Colts, Titans, upset. Cha-ching. Ravens, 3. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 4. Bengals, 5. Rams, upset. 6. Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 7. Hey, man, join the club. Have a seat. 7-7, Mendoza line. Let's move on to Cubone football. The winner, remember, put some respect on that man's name. This is the champ from last week. And if you look up above, that man is comfy, sitting in the king's throne. I need that. I'm going to get that from him. Let's see what he did to follow up that big-time performance of 12-3 last week. San Francisco, 49ers got us all, man. Damn, those damn Niners. That's one. Washington, Cleveland. Cleveland? Oh, hell. He might be going below the Mendoza line this week. That's 2. Philly, that's 3. Indy, Miami, that's 4. Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Denver, that's 5. Dallas, Buffalo, Oakland, Green Bay, Carolina, 6. Okay, he redeemed himself in the second half games. Dallas, Buffalo, Oakland, they cleaned up his mess that he made early in the day. 8-6 for Cubone football. He cleaned it up nice because it looked bad after Cleveland. It looked bad for a while there. Money Miz, 14. Cardinals, Vikings, Colts, Steelers, Titans, Eagles, 1. Pats, Ravens, 2. Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Raiders, Rams, 5. Packers, Panthers, 6. 8-6 for Money Miz, 14. Started out hot. Second half of games got him good. DG Productions. See what you got going on. Cardinals, Pats, Eagles, 1. Bears, 2. Dolphins, 3. Ravens, 4. Vikings, Steelers, Falcons, Cowboys, Rams, 5. Raiders, Packers, Bucks. Close. Had a little streak there in the middle. Eagles, Bears, Dolphins, Ravens, but then cleaned it up at the end. And that Falcons over the Broncos, obviously he being a Falcons fan, he had some extra incentive to go with his boys. And then the Bucks on Monday night gets him to 9-5. Close, but still not a double-digit getter. But that's a hell of a week. In a sloppy week like Week 5 was, that's really a good week indeed. Carmen Rana. See what Carmen Rana has to say. Cardinals, Patriots, Lions, Ravens, 1. Colts, Dolphins, 2. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Rams, 5. Raiders, Panthers, 6. And Packers. So 8-6 for Carmen Rana. Not bad, not great, but you're not sitting on the bench with us, so you are one better than us. Eduardo O'Neal says, time to start doing better. Done picking my Lions. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? And I know he was kicking himself at home. He said, the week I don't pick my goddamn Lions, look what they go and do. That's how it goes, man. If I would have picked the Redskins, they would have won last week. I mean, they would have lost last week. That's why I didn't pick them. So I'm trying to tell you. You want your team to win? Unless you're sure, don't pick them. At least that's been my experience. Eduardo O'Neal. 49ers, 1. Ravens, 2. Patriots, Eagles, 3. Bears, 4. Dolphins, 5. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 6. Bengals, 7. Bills, Raiders, Packers, Bucks. Boy, he got the Bucks on Monday night to keep him from sinking below the Mendoza line. That was a big win for you. He needed Roberto Aguayo, Mr. Automatic, to come through for him, and he did. Eduardo O'Neal grab a seat on the pine with us on this 7-7 Mendoza line. All right. Vlasic does PvP. Road to 100 subs. Sends me the following. Cardinals, Redskins, Patriots, Eagles, 1. Colts, Dolphins, 2. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Rams, 5. Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 6. 8-6 for Vlasic does PvP. And Sindeko, who chastised me for messing his name up last week. Don't butcher the name, bruh. I'm sorry, Sindeko. Tough week. A lot of toilet bowl games. Here we go. Week 5 picks. And he's a Panthers fan. So I know this week was extra tough for him. And he was the guy that said at the end of his picks, my hat size is 7 1/4. Let me get my dunce hat in Carolina blue, shaking my head. So before I even take a look at these picks, they got to be bad when you start asking for the dunce cap in advance. Niners, 1. Ravens, 2. Steelers, Dolphins, 3. Vikings, Patriots, Eagles, 4. Colts, Broncos, 5. Raiders, Bills, Bengals, 6. Giants, 7. Panthers 8. The first person to sink below the Mendoza line in week number 5 in the National Football League. Here on Louie Tee Live, Sin Day Co. 6-8. He can hear my echo. Hey, hey, hey. Are you okay? Good. You can hear the echo down there. Let's see if he's going to get some company. RWF 1984 says, I should wear the dunce cap for not realizing to put my picks here. Not missing out this week, as here are my week 5 picks. So, Niners, 1. Ravens, 2. Patriots, Eagles, 3. Colts, Titans, Vikings, Steelers, Falcons, Bengals, 4. Rams, 5. Chargers, 6. Giants, 7. Panthers, 8. Damn, he was doing good. Sheesh. He went on a roll at the end to get funky. He says, 6-8. Damn, drowned on my first official attempt. Wow. So, you got company, Sunday Co. He's got company. So now, you don't have to worry about me yelling down and echoing to you. You can just talk to RWF right next to you. DB88243. Cardinals, Ravens, 1. Patriots, Eagles, 2. Colts, Titans, Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 3. Bengals, 4. Bills, Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 5. Not bad. Not bad at all. 9-5 for DB88243. Just one shy of the min. Hey, look, or of the double digits. Only one man has made that plateau. BE this week. Big Blue View. He says, I'll say this straight up. I'd be happy with 8-6 the way I've been picking. Well, let's see. Cards, Vikings, Colts, Steelers, Dolphins, 1. Eagles, 2. Patriots, Ravens, 3. Broncos, 4. Bengals, 5. Raiders, Bills, Packers, Bucks. 9-5. He was looking for 8-6. Got 9-5. One short. And Big Blue View had been struggling. He had been in the toilet the first couple of weeks. That's impressive, man. 9-5 in a week where it was funky. That's not bad. Brown Shoe T2 says, Cards, Steelers, Ravens, 1. Pats, Eagles, 2. Bears, upset special, 3. Titans, Vikings, Broncos, 4. Bengals, 5. Bills, Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 6. So he says, I'm going to try to keep it up and stay in the double-digit club. He made it his first appearance last week. I've been a double-digit member twice, but one of those was in the double-digit loser club, LOL. So he made it last week. Unfortunately, not many are going to make it this week, and he did not make it either. But 8-6, that's respectable this week in the National Football League. Zach Randolph says, let me get in this mix. All right, Zach, let's see what you got, Zebo. Cards, Steelers, Redskins, Patriots, Eagles, 1. Colts, Titans, Vikings, Broncos, 2. Bengals, 3. Bills, Raiders, Packers, Panthers. 10-4 for Zebo. Let's read these again just to make sure I didn't slip up. Cards, Steelers, Redskins, Patriots, Eagles, 1. Colts, Titans, Vikings, Broncos, 2. Bengals, 3. Bills, Raiders, Packers, and Panthers. Yes, 10-4, tied with my man BE for the lead and the only 2 double-digit getters thus far this week. Michael Preller, Arizona, Patriots, Eagles, 1. Bears, 2. Titans, Ravens, 3. Vikings, Steelers, Broncos, 4. Bengals, 5. Rams, 6. Raiders, Packers, Panthers, 7-7. Have a seat on the Mendoza line with the rest of us. C. Protect 428 says, here are my picks for week number 5. Niners over Cards, 1. Skins over Ravens, Pats, Eagles 2, Broncos 3, Packers, Steelers, Vikes, Bills, Titans, Colts, Raiders, Cowboys, Panthers. If I'm not mistaken, that is 4. Let's go over them again. Niners 1, Eagles 2, Broncos 3, Packers, Steelers, Vikings, Bills, Titans, Colts, Raiders, Cowboys, Panthers. 10-4 for Protect 428. Man, he's been hot. He has been hot of late. Those are our week 6 entries or week 5 entries on Louie Tee Live. So, we got a 3-way tie. So, let's go to the Wall of Fame and let's start typing some names in, shall we? Congratulations to Brian Emerson, who got 10-4. Let's see who else joined him. Protect 428 at 10-4 as well. And Zach Randolph making his first appearance on Louie Tee Live with a 10-4 as well. Pretty impressive, if I may say so myself. 3 and only 3 get double digits, and those same 3 are going to find themselves on the Wall of Fame in week number 5. Congratulations to you all. Let's put these guys on the Wall of Fame. They deserve it. Start with my man Brian Emerson. Let's see now. It's BE. See who's next. Let's go with Protect. Let's actually get Brian's name on the wall. Let's do that first. Let's go with Protect 428. Let's see how that looks. And then we're going to put in Zach Randolph, Zebo. See how these look now. And we're going to put Zebo in there last, but not least. And I think we got it. Let's see how it looks. Brian Emerson, BE. Protects 428. Let's scoot him over a little bit. And Zach Randolph, Zebo, with the Z-Bound. Here in week 5 on the Louie Tee Live program. So, solid week overall. Only 2 people slipped below the Mendoza line. And next week, I'm going to have a dunce cap waiting for the losers. We're not going to allow them to skate anymore. And we're going to put you guys in the winner's circle. Excuse me. Put you guys in the winner's circle next week. Wasn't prepared this week for the winner's circle. But we will have you in the winner's circle next week. And just so you know, Cubone football remains in the King's throne. And I'm not happy about that. I'm going to take him down eventually. But that's not the case yet. But let's get to some of your comments before we wrap this thing on up. All right. Let's get to some of your comments. All right, let's see. Love hearing about y'all picks, man. When y'all be talking about y'all picks. That's funny. All right, let's see. BE, Brian Emerson, let's start with him. He said, hey, I picked my team and they won, and it got you off to a great start, which eventually helped you get your name on the Wall of Fame and double digits in week number 5. Good job. Sean McKenzie says, it's all good, bro. I bleed orange and brown. Total homer on some Cleveland picks, LOL. Spectacular Pooh 24 says, hot cross buns. Y'all stupid. Oh my gosh. OG, I forgot how you say that. HTTR. Is that Ouija? Like a Ouija board? I'm not sure. The way you say stink have me rolling. Stinks. DG Production says, I saw the Falcons winning. Yeah. You a Falcons fan. I know. You saw you guys winning, but deep down in your heart, your fandom wouldn't let you pick the Broncos anyway. You thought you could win, but you were like, I'm not going against my boys this week. Andrew Kim says, had a rough week. We both did, man. But then again, you look on the bench. It's a couple of us on this 7-7 bench, man. Don't beat yourself up. You could have been worse. You could have been Sendeco. You could have been 6-8. And he had some company. I don't quite recall who it was. But he got, RFW went down there and joined him. So you could have been worse. You could have been 6-8. Sean McKenzie says, I'm wavering on my LA Rams pick for this week. LOL. Well, you got time, man. You got time. Make the right pick. Cubone Football says, LOL, I still have the throne. Yes, you do. I don't know. It's going to be tough to get you out of there, man. You are chilling up there in the penthouse, and I'm going to tell you what, 12-3, that win percentage right there, that's going to be awfully tough for somebody to top. That's going to be awfully tough. As a matter of fact, just for kicks and giggles, let's see what that win percentage is. That's an 80% clip that my man Cubone put up a couple weeks back or last week. And just for reference, this week, the three-way tie between B.E. Zebo and Protect 428, 71%. So, gonna have to come with your A game if you're gonna knock Cubone out of the penthouse, man, off the throne. Robbie Sohal says, wait until the playoffs, Lou. I'll have 4 L's through the whole thing, max. Yeah. I'll see when it comes. We'll see when it comes. All right. DG Production says, did you get my picks there in the discussion on YouTube? If you already did, sorry. Well, I can check real quick for you. Won't hurt. And while that's loading up, I'll read some more comments. Let's see. Cubone Football. Damn, BE. You're going to be lone up there in double digits. I thought so for a while, too. I thought he was going to be by himself. But he got some company. He says, I know, right? It's pretty nice up there. He said, it's pretty nice up here. There's some room for anyone if they want to join. You're going to be laughing when you watch my picks video because I made mention of that, man. It's nice when you get on that double-digit platform. Boy, is it nice, man. That's rarefied air. And I used to be a regular. I got so spoiled that now I'm just like, damn, I'd kill to get in double digits now. It's been a long time, man. I'm hurting over here. Sean McKenzie says, LMAO, you a trip, bro. B says, hey, Lou, I need some room service up here. He says he needs some room service up here, man. I'm going to send somebody with a bottle of wine for you, man. Some Chateau de Briand for you, man. I got you. Don't worry. I'm going to make sure it's nice and chilled for you. Oh, man. Y'all are some idiots, man. I swear. Caleb Hazard says, these picks seem to be getting harder by the week. I think it's going to get a lot easier because now you should know who's good and who's not. It's all about making – it's 1 or 2 picks that could go either way and an upset or 2, and you just got to be on the right side of those. Let's see. I just skipped a whole bunch of comments. That sucks. Let's go back up. Deron Johnson says, Ravens going to win, Louie. All right. You'll see in my picks. Brian Emerson says, hey, can you bring us some wine up here, man? I just told you I'm going to send a bottle of Chateau de Brion up there to you, man. Relax. Brian Emerson says, what about the king of the throne? And he up there, man. He's still chilling. I don't see anybody knocking him off of that either, man. He's going to be pretty comfy for a while. I'll tell you what, though. When he does get knocked off, it'll be by moi. It'll be by me. Watch. I'm telling you right now. Sean Mack says, I'm hoping Gurley gets found in week 6 because I'm taking L.A. Hey, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that one. Captain Spartan 04 says, thoughts on Carlos Williams with the Steelers? We'll see. Is he in shape? Where's his mental at? We'll see. He could be an asset for you. I like that pickup. Low risk, high reward. Love it. Let's see what he's about. See. Caleb Hazard says, why did I pick the 49ers? I asked myself, as we got to the fourth quarter and I saw the game unraveling, I said the same damn thing. I started fussing at myself, but I shouldn't. I said, you can't be mad at yourself because you didn't know they were going to turn it over 3 times. And the Cardinals had Drew Stanton at quarterback. You said, he's Drew Stanton. He's going to mess up. And he tried, but the 49ers wanted to lose more. So give credit to the Cardinals. They went out there and took that ball game. Hirsch Patel says, look forward to this every week, man. Had a good time. Sleep good, my dude. You too, man. Have a good one. Appreciate you for joining the program tonight. Eduardo O'Neill says, gotta do better. You and me both, my man. But again, it could have been worse. You could have slipped below the Mendoza line, and you didn't. Just always remember this. My mom used to always say, somebody's got it worse than you do. And 2 people had it worse than you did this week. Remember, it could have been worse. A lot worse. Blackbird, oh Lord, here we go again. Spelling bee. Mattyyice. Say it with me. Natty, Sorry, I forgot the last letter. All right, let's see. The Black Al Bundy. You reveal how your picks went for week 5. Yes, I did that. I went 7-7, man. I had a rough one. But I also sabotaged myself intentionally to get my Redskins a win. So I feel good about that. So I could have went 8-6. But I didn't. I went 7-7. And I'm proud of my 7-7 because I feel like I sacrificed for the good of the team. And I got my boys a W. So we're over 500. I take solace in knowing that I had a part in that victory. BE says, let's see if I can get to BE in his comment. 2 weeks straight, I've beaten you. What's happening? Hope for some good competition this week. Look, man, I can't talk any trash. I got my ass whooped the last 2 weeks, man. You see the record up in the corner up there? Season record? I can't say any damn thing. I've been funky the last 2 weeks. 3 weeks, really. Going back to week 3. Started off hot, and I done cooled off significantly. So I can't say nothing to you, BE, man. Only until I whoop your ass can I talk trash. And I haven't, so I'm going to send up another complimentary bottle of wine, man. Another bottle of Chateau de Brion on the house. I can't say nothing to you, man. Let's see. The Black Al Bunny says, you got to bring them that. Wow. I can't even pronounce that, LOL. I don't even know how to say that. It sounds exquisite, though. I can't even say that. I'm not even going to try because I'm going to mess it up. But it sounds exquisite. Maybe I'll name my other wine that. If it's not already a name of a wine. Probably is. I need you to, in the comment section, Black Al Bundy, I need you to give me a pronunciation of that. I want to be able to say that. That sounds really fancy. Does it sound as fancy as Brion? But it sounds fancy. I want to say it. I need you to put that in the description box for me. Robbie Sohal says, personal question. If you don't mind answering, how old are you, man? How long have you been watching football? I am 30 years old. I just turned 30 in July. And I've been watching football since I was 3. My first memory, I'm lying. I've been watching football since I was 3, but I don't remember anything until I was 4. Redskins losing to the 49ers in the playoffs in 1990 was my first memory. I cried my eyes out. Got blown out by the 49ers. Mark Rippon threw like 3 interceptions, like 2 of them were in the end zone. Cried like a baby. That's because I was a baby. So, yeah, there you go. Robbie Sohal says, also, bro, I love the show. You do it best, man. I appreciate it, Robbie, man. I really do. Let's see. Nick Riley says, what do you think about the Vikings signing Jake Long? And my bad last week for forgetting to post my picks. I've been lacking worse than Brock trying to throw the ball against us. Don't do that to Brock. Be nice. 31-13 or 14, whatever it was. That wasn't good enough. You got to rub it in his face, too. Stop your nonsense, Nick. All right? I like the signing. Jake Long hasn't been great for a long time. He's been average at best, and he never stays healthy. So it's just insurance is all it is. But you got guys falling down left and right along your offensive line, so you need some insurance. So that's what he's going to provide you with. But I don't think he's going to make a big impact on this Vikings football team. Maybe he will. Most likely he won't. Anthony Hibbert says, are you willing to roll the dice on the rival Cowboys this week versus the Packers? You'll find out in my picks here shortly. All right, let's see. Blackbird Blitz says, love the show and the NFL fans in your community. Keep up the good work, man. I appreciate that, B3. And it's all fun, man. I know you keep giving me a hard time about Matty Ice. But real talk, man. It's all love, man. I appreciate it. The Black Al Bundy says, ROTFL, I got you. All right, I'm waiting on that, man. I'm waiting. All right. I need that pronunciation. I need it. Brian Emerson said, damn, 30? Only 9 years older than me. I'm 21, man. Enjoy the 20s life, man. I just left the 20s. It was great. It was great, but it's on to the next chapter of my life, man. And the 30s is going to be better than the 20s for me. I know it's going to be because I'm going to make more money. See, I was broke in my 20s. I plan to have a lot of money in my 30s. And that's going to make a lot of difference. So have fun, though, man. It's fun in the 20s. Enjoy it. Captain Spartan 04 says, what would you have happen to Big Ben to get his nickname? You can't take away a nickname. You're a made man once you win a Super Bowl. Once you win a Super Bowl, made man. He's got 2 of them. It's a made man. It's not that nickname. It's not going anywhere. See. Sean McKenzie says, I am the old man at 32 years old, LOL. Already got 30 hours in at work, too. Damn. Killing the game. 30 already? You a beast. Caleb Hazard says, do you think Thursday Night Football is going to be better this week? I hope. Okay. Vuve Kluko. Ha! Who would have known? Who would have known? Vuve Kluko. Okay. Yeah, that's fancy. That's fancy. I like that. Oh, you fancy, huh? Yeah, that's fancy. I like that. Still like Chateau de Brion, but that's fancy too. I like that. Vuve Kluko. Probably got a little bit of extra spittle in there that messed it up, but yeah, you get it. Nick Riley says, my bad, bro. I had to do it. But on the real, I'm going with the Cowboys over the Packers this week. You rolling with me? You about to find out. Clico. Which one is it? Clico or Kluko? I need that pronunciation. I need to get that right. Vuve Cluco or is it Vouvet Clico? It's probably Clico. That sounds real fancy. Whatever the case may be, it's fancy anyhow. All right. Moving right along. Anthony Hibbert says, yeah, 30s is all about... Oh, somebody posted another comment and knocked the comment out of the way. Anthony Hibbert says, yeah, 30s is all about having business, having a foundation and building an empire. I agree. I'm looking forward to doing that in my 30s. The Black Al Bundy says, do you see a loss anywhere in the remainder of the schedule? You know the Vikings going to slip up somewhere. You know it's so hard to win every week in this league. And I think somebody in the division is going to bite you. The Bears, the Lions, somebody that you least expect. But you know, one of those family members, and of course you still got to go to Lambeau, one of those family members is going to get you. You know it. You know it. I don't know which one. Don't ask me. But one of them is going to get you. All right. The Black Al Bundy says, shout out to all my graveyard shifters. Man, y'all some hustlers, boy. I couldn't do it, man. My circadian rhythm would be all jacked up. I gotta have some kind of semblance of ordinary and normalcy. When you work overnight, man, your body is a wreck. I don't know how y'all do it. Those are some real grown man hours when you work those graveyard shifts, man. Straight up. Sean Mack says, I'm a redneck from Ohio. Give me my wine in a box. Brian Emerson says, Larry has a nickname, but he doesn't have a Super Bowl win. Larry Legend. I know it's you, Brax. It's Ouija. I thought it was Ouija, like the Ouija boys back in the day. I thought that's what it was. And he said it's Clico. And yeah, it's Ouija. And this is Brax, by the way. I knew it was you. I knew it was you by the profile pic. You didn't have to tell me. I knew who I was talking to. See, you don't think I be paying attention to those little small minor details? Come on, man. That's what I do. Nick Riley says, man, I'm telling you right now, we ain't losing to the Lions or the Bears. We swept them both last year. That was last year. This is this year, okay? All right? You're going to lose somewhere in this schedule, and it's probably going to be to a family member. I'm just telling you right now. But in any event, that is the last of the comments. So, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all of you who watched and participated that make this Wednesday night Louie Tee live telecast so much fun. This is my favorite show by far, and I really enjoy the banter back and forth. I love to laugh. That's my favorite thing in the world to do when I'm not spending time with my family or watching football. And so I really enjoy this, guys. You guys make it fun. You make it what it is. And so with that being said, if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. And with that being said, it's time to go to my picks. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. Here are my week 6 picks. I feel good about it, but then again, when don't I feel good about my picks? I'm not going to say anything crazy. I'm just going to let you enjoy the picks. Enjoy the rest of your night. Love you guys. And I'm going to leave you with a complimentary bottle of Chateau de Briand. Enjoy. Pop a little bubbly. Could it be? For me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to Louie Tee versus the world. Your man Louie Tee back with his picks for week number 6 in the National Football League. Another rough one last week, man. Week 5 was unkind to the good guy, Louie Tee. I went 7-7 last week. Didn't slip below the Mendoza line, but boy, am I walking a fine little line over here, man. I'm tight-roping it. And I did some things that I'm not remorseful for my picks last week. I didn't pick my Redskins and they won. That was a reverse Jedi mind trick and it worked. Yeah! Got that win, man. I said, if I pick my boys this week, we're going to lose. If I don't pick them, however, they're going to win this game. And sometimes you got to sacrifice for the good of the team, and I did that. So I took an L there. Who saw the Detroit Lions beating the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles? That's the National Football League. I mean, seriously. I didn't do a good job dissecting some of these games. Tennessee, Miami, I should have saw the writing on the wall there. The Dolphins stink. And I refused to believe what my eyes were telling me, and I had to pay for it in the form of a loss. So I could have been better last week, but I wasn't. But I'm not here to cry with spilled milk, okay? It's the first portion of the season is over with now, and I pretty much know who's good and who's not. You know, it's a filling out process, give or take. You know, at the beginning of the season, it's a real guessing game as to who's going to win because you think you know, but you have no idea. And this league does a really good job of keeping you off balance each and every single week. Even when we get to week 12, you're still going to have some upsets where you're like, man, who saw that coming? But for the most part now, I can look a team in the eyes and say, I know who you are. And so because of that, I think these picks in week 6, and I say this every week, so what's any different this week than last week, right? But I'm telling you, I feel like I got a pretty good handle on this thing now, so I feel good about these picks, but as has been the case all season long, Thursday Night Football still a head scratcher for me, man. I just can't get Thursday night right. I'm 2-3 on Thursday nights, and this is not an easy Thursday. I just want to lay up. Toss one up for me so I can spike it home, man. Stop giving me all these tough ones. Denver Broncos at the San Diego Chargers. San Diego Superchargers. And I'm about to speed through these picks, by the way. They're getting Trevor Siemian back, most likely. He's questionable, which I hate when I don't know. Last week, I didn't know if Carson Palmer was going to play. That impacted my decision. You're killing me here. I'm going to take the Broncos, though, just because the Chargers don't know how to win. I really want to pick San Diego, to be honest with you. Because the Chargers are there every game. They could easily be 5-0. I know you're tired of hearing me say that. And I know the Chargers fans are tired of hearing other people say that because they're not 5-0. They're not 4-1. They're 1-4. But they know how to play the Broncos. Even when they were good, they would beat Denver. And this is family business, but I'm taking the Broncos anyway. Go to the Sunday slate of games. San Francisco at Buffalo. Colin Kaepernick is starting for the San Francisco 49ers. Who's he again? I don't know that dude, okay? But I do know that the Buffalo Bills, they're hot. So I'm going with the Bills at home to win their 4th straight on the season. Jacksonville Jaguars coming off their bye week taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears is who I'm picking in this game. Billy Ho playing outstanding football, and that rookie running back Jordan Howard looks damn good. I'm taking the Bears at home to beat the Jags. Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions. I'm going to regret this. I know it right now. I know I'm going to regret it. I hate picking the Lions with a passion. But I'm going to pick these boys at home just because I don't trust the Los Angeles Rams, and I don't trust Case Keenum. Give me the Lions, even though I know I'm going to regret that come next week. Watch what I say. Cleveland at Tennessee. If the Browns don't win this game, I don't know if they win one this season. I'm being brutally honest with you. That being said, I'm still taking the Tennessee Titans to win that football game. As we go to the next one, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are one of the worst teams in the league. Straight up. Straight up and down, they're bad. And I really can't put my finger on it, nor do I care to. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to go on the road and beat a bad Miami Dolphins football team. Cincinnati Bengals at the New England Patriots. Jury's out on the Cincinnati Bengals, man. That was piss poor pathetic what we saw last week versus the Dallas Cowboys. They were down 28-0 at one point in that game. I'm taking the New England Patriots. Brady's back, and he's pissed, and the league's got hell to pay. And I know that's a cliche right now, but it's true. And Cincinnati, I don't know if they can do anything about that. We'll give you the Patriots. Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Cam looks like he's going to play. Another one of these games could go either way. Saints coming off of a bye. They may have a little bit of confidence. Look, even when the Panthers were undefeated last year, they struggled because you know what this is. If these two teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. You know what this is. I'm taking the home team on this one, man. Give me the Saints to beat the Carolina Panthers, who are reeling right now. This could be the knockout blow. But that could also be them backs against the wall coming out swinging, and the Panthers get that one. But I'm going to take the Saints and take the home team there. Baltimore at the Giants. Everybody's down on the Giants right now. The Ravens just changed their offensive coordinator. Could have an effect like the Bills firing their offensive coordinator had, where they won 3 straight. Or it could just be a team that is deficient of a bunch of talented football players. We'll see. I know this much. The Giants right now struggling. This is an opportunity to get back on track. I'm taking the Giants at home to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Redskins. I got a good feeling about this, man. I got a really good feeling about this. And even though my boy Jay may not play, okay? in the concussion protocol out of nowhere, which is scary because he's had a number of concussions throughout his career. He may not play in this game. Still confident that the good guys in burgundy and gold, or in this case, burgundy and gold, get it done. Take the Redskins in this game to take a potential leap into first place in the division this season. Kansas City Chiefs, taking on the Oakland Raiders in this AFC West showdown. You know what it is. It's family business. And as I always say, you know I say it all the time. If these two teams said they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. And this is a big family business here. Raiders sitting atop the division with the Denver Broncos. They'll already know by the time this game is played if this is for first place or if this is for first place. Either way, they could have a slice of first place, whether they tie or they up there by themselves. Either way, if you're the Raiders and you're serious about winning this division, much like last week, got a family member coming to the crib, welcome them, but you need to send them home upset, get this W. I don't trust the Raiders though. Chiefs coming off of a bye week, and I think they're upset at the way they performed over the last few weeks. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. Fresh off a bye with a very bad Raiders defense. Even though that Raiders offense is good, I'm still taking the Chiefs in this one to get the job done. Dallas Cowboys at the Green Bay Packers. This is my last stand picking against the Cowboys, okay? If they go to Lambeau and beat the Green Bay Packers, I'm sold. I am sold, but I need to see it, and I don't believe it. Give me the Green Bay Packers at home. Best run defense versus best run offense. Something's got to give, and I think I know what it is. Give me the Green Bay Packers in that football game. Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the Seattle Seahawks, who are coming off of a bye week. 1 week healthier is Russell Wilson. I think he's going to do just fine coming back off the bye week with a little bit of time to rest and recoup. And the Falcons are playing outstanding football right now. Don't sell these boys short, but this is a different type of defense. This is a different animal, and that's a different quarterback. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to protect the house versus the red-hot Atlanta Falcons. And then on the Sunday night tip, Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans. Look, this is some AFC South family business and of the utmost importance. If anybody's serious about stopping the Texans from winning this division, here's the game that you gotta have. If you're the Houston Texans and you're serious about winning this division, this is the game you gotta have. Put some distance between you and everybody else in the division by winning this game. You wanna let everybody else back in? You wanna leave the door slightly ajar? You wanna leave that door slightly ajar? Lose this football game. The Colts don't protect Andrew Luck good enough, and they don't play any defense. So that's right up the Texans' alley because they struggle on the offensive side of football, but guess what? The Colts don't play any defense. And, oh, by the way, the Colts struggle to protect Andrew Luck. Well, the Texans can get pressure on the quarterback. Sounds like a perfect match. Give me the Houston Texans at home to protect the crib. And finally, Monday Night Football, New York Jets, Arizona Cardinals. Carson Palmer has been cleared of the concussion protocol. He is ready to rock and roll for Week 6. And even though he hasn't been playing great football, neither have the Jets. Ryan Fitzpatrick stinks. I don't like the Jets at all, and I don't like them on the road going into the desert needing to win. Give me the Arizona Cardinals to wrap up my Week 6 picks. So, love what I just put forth. Let's hope that this is something that I can come back and tell you I'm back a part of the double digits club. I'm looking at all the double digit winners having fun, and I'm outside looking in the window and they just having a blast, and I'm like, man, I sure would like to go in there, man. Looks like a lot of fun. I'm about to go in there, man. I'm about to crash that party because it looks like a lot of fun. And normally, I'm the guy inside waving to the people outside looking like, hey, it's a lot of fun. Why don't you come on in? They said, I only won 7 games. 7 games, 8 games. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, can't help you. And then I close the curtain. Well, I went in. They just shut the curtain on me. I gotta get in there. So this is the week that I get back in the fun house, man, and have a ball with everybody else. Hey, we won double-digit games. It's fun in here. Yeah, I want to come in too. So hopefully these picks allow me to stroll right on in, man. Stroll right on in, man. I want to go in there and have some fun too. Well, let me have some fun then. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, your man Louie Tee covers it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Got my picks. Where are yours? I'm looking for yours. Let's see how you do. I'm ready to get to that number 1 spot, man. I'll see y'all next week.
Broncos won the Super Bowl when Peyton Manning retired. 49ers won 5 games and Tom Sula got fired. RG's in Cleveland and my Rams hit the West Coast. Be sleepless in Seattle cause that 12-man ain't beast mode. Oh yeah. I knew it was something I forgot to mention. Yeah. Old Tom Brady about to get that suspension. Yeah, I know the Pats fans probably think that's whack. Yeah, but at the end of the day, your balls was flat. It's that time again. It's that time again to go hard in the off season, cause we trying to win. We gon' go so hard we don't